They think we should be good if Shannon's heard it. Yeah, well, we should be good.
Okay.
It's broadcasting. That's the important part. Yeah, we're all set.
You all set? All right. Welcome everybody to the public hearing for the cable television. And today is January 4th, 2024, and it's 6:02 p.m. And can I please have everybody stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everybody. So everybody knows we're recording the meeting via WCAT 6 and streaming it via Zoom and live streaming it via Facebook. If anybody else is recording the meeting, please let us know so we can let everybody else know that you're recording. So the Board of Selectmen of the Town of Warren, Massachusetts, is issued the authority to cable television license under Mass General Law, Chapter 166A. The purpose of the public hearing will be to determine whether to issue a cable television license to Comcast. And the meeting is open for that. Okay. Do you have anything at this point, Rich?
Yeah, I have a few things, but I have to reconcile.
Okay.
I see.
Mr. Ferrari, do you wanna go?
Okay.
You good? So we've been going through the contract with
There it is.
Travis and the members of our local access network about the contract with Comcast. And it's been back and forth and, you know, working through the attorneys and our local access and Comcast and, you know, so we can finally come to an agreement on what we have in front of us at this point, which I think the town is getting the best bet we can now. And, you know, everybody's done a great job with it, so did you have something?
Yeah, okay, so bottom of page 21 lists the drops, outlets, and monthly service to public school buildings and schools as Exhibit B. Exhibit B and C, oh, okay. Do we want to list, like, what are municipal buildings? I guess, do we want to have things listed out specifically as to what?
I thought they were defined,
Exhibit C has it, but now I realize it's video originating locations. This is
Yeah, so that's where we broadcast
from. But this is talking about just having the availability of cable, right? So I would say it would be the ones in C, Exhibit C, but also what about police, fire?
Well, that's why you keep it as municipal buildings. Because it's all municipal property.
So do we have that now? Do we have,
Yeah, as far, that's in our current, I believe, any municipal owned building, that's already covered, because I know the schools have it. I don't know if police and fire are actively using it, because I believe the senior center as well also has a free cable drop as well, that they get.
Melanie, do you want to come up front so everybody can see you too?
Oh, sure.
we'd have to check with like highway and, you know, the other departments, but.
I know
Fire-
highway uses it.
Okay, so highway, I don't know if police and fire, if they're actively using it, or, you know, they didn't know it was available, but the last contract, basically all those buildings were covered.
So, just because of social media and everything, we just wanna identify who everybody is. If you're gonna be speaking and what your position is, so the public knows, because we're also doing via Zoom.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a requirement when we're doing Zoom and stuff. So if you could just,
Travis Baker, Chairman, Cable Advisory, and WCAT.
Lisa Lundell, Secretary of WCAT.
oh, yeah.
Eileen Leahy, Comcast Senior Manager of Government Relations.
Thank you. All right.
Okay, so
So
I
did
mean,
that explain you?
if we're covered, then that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next one.
And that
is-
just covers us, so if we actually add any other municipal buildings, it's not specifically identified, a
Well, we'd
specific
have-
location, it covers
Yeah.
municipal buildings,
Yeah.
all.
Okay. Page 24, number G, says at the end, set forth in subsection C below. Is that correct? And this particular paragraph used to be higher up, and I think it was referring to maybe section D at that point, but I'm not really sure.
Subsection C.
I mean, it could be subsection C, but then we should get rid of the word below.
Where is subsection C?
It's on page 23, but I'm not sure that,
I think when they moved it, they didn't change the C.
yeah, but it was subsection C before when it was C itself. It was like self-referential.
So, public educational and government access channel may not be used to cablecast for profit, political or commercial fundraising programs in a fashion. Unused channels may be utilized by licensee subject to the provisions set forth by subsection C below. So within 24 hours of.
But if you look at subsection C above, it doesn't really match up.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what it should be, but maybe it's one of these others, I have no idea.
Well, there is no subsection C below,
Yeah, I mean,
before,
yeah,
above.
I mean, minimally, that word's gotta be fixed, but I don't think subsection C is the
How
right
does it
one.
apply though?
Yeah, I don't know, I would think it would list, says, subject to the provisions set forth in subsection C. And like I said, before, it used to be, this paragraph used to be subsection C, and then it said referencing subsection C. Does that make sense? So it was
So
referencing itself.
do you see how that applies to subsection C at all?
It doesn't apply to the new subsection C, because that's about the HG channel.
So we could pretty much take that
So
portion
let
out
me,
then.
Well, I don't know, can we? It's telling us how we can use channels that haven't been utilized or unused. I don't know that we
No,
want
but we
to.
could take the reference of subsection C, because it doesn't apply,
Yeah,
right?
because that section's basically, you know, if we don't use a channel for, you know, the channel for 120 days, Comcast can throw another PEG channel on there, to utilize the airspace.
Well, should it be subsection H then? It's probably H.
So I think the original, looking at like the original draft, and that didn't have the subsection.
Well, it wouldn't be subsection H, because it would just, H would just flow with it.
Well, so, like, one of the earlier versions has it worded, in the event that the issuing authority, its designee or other PEG access user elects not to program a PEG access channel for a period of 120 days or more, the licensee may thereafter use such channel that is not being used for PEG access purposes, subject to the
Well,
right
that-
of the
that's-
issuing authority to reclaim said channel.
That's what H is now.
Right.
Yeah, so that was, like, on one of the earlier drafts, that was actually subsection D.
Right.
But in that paragraph, it doesn't mention, subsection C. So I think all these revisions we made, I don't know if it got added in
So I
there.
think you're
and-
right, I think it's H.
Because we've kind of gone back and forth on a few things.
I don't know, I mean, that's what the original was. It was subsection C, referencing subsection C. That's what I'm saying. So maybe it was
so just-
supposed to be D, which is now H, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, because that one that I just read off of, that was from a draft from yesterday, how it was written.
Might
but
wanna
then-
have Jeff look at that one again, to make sure it's referencing the right, because this may have been wrong from the previous agreement or something.
I don't think it was I don't think it was wrong from the previous agreement, just, like Travis was saying, language was added, and I think that
That just wasn't adjusted to
it wasn't,
the
yeah.
new language.
Like I said, the draft that we got yesterday doesn't even mention, refer to subsection C. Just had that line cut out completely. So,
Yeah, so I,
somebody miscopied and pasted somewhere.
Yeah.
so what it should be, and so it really should be subsection H below.
So it was just an error on the letter.
Yeah, it was just you're right, that didn't get picked up so what happened is we added the HD pay channel, and so that.
So we have to add that change to the approved. When we do it, we'll just, if we approve this as amended,
Should
to add
say-
that
should
H.
say H instead of C, right?
Yeah.
Right, because if you go back to the one from yesterday, it would have been,
Yeah, because the one from yesterday didn't have the, stuff in there for the HD.
so that should be right, and that was,
Oh, is that what E is? Oh, and D.
Yeah, there's a couple of lines in there regarding, moving it up to HD.
Okay, so that all got inserted at C and bumped the original C down to G.
right,
Yep, okay.
so that was just, it was just really more of a Scrivener error, and I apologize that wasn't picked up.
Well, I mean, the problem was before the HD went in, it was still wrong.
Right, yeah,
So,
didn't get caught. So basically, it's just saying that, like Travis said, that any unused channels, and it clarifies what that means in the paragraph below. Talk about the 120 days.
all right. And we got
G,
the,
so in subsection G, the C becomes an H.
Yep.
And that should.
all right,
make
so we
that
got
change.
the 4%. Let me see.
So the
Okay.
annual percentage has been adjusted to 4%, so people
Yeah.
know, from 2%.
2%, correct.
So,
Section 7.2, Customer Service Call Center. Why was the line removed that says the licensee shall comply with all state and federal requirements pertaining to the hours of operation of such customer service call centers? It seems that that's holding Comcast to a standard where they have to follow
I
state
think if
and
you go
federal.
to the FCC, that's included in there, so it's just cleaning up the language, the FCC. We're gonna be compliant with all the FCC regs,
Okay.
all the customer service regulations. For the FCC as well for the Massachusetts regulations as well as the federal regulations.
Okay.
If you go to that section, it would be all included, that's all the regulations are included in that, those subsections.
All right. 7.5, you're asking the town to cooperate with you in opposing a request when you designate things that are confidential, trade secret or proprietary, and somebody wants to look at that stuff, for want of a better word. My question is, who would pay the legal fees if we need to use town council? Because you're asking us to cooperate with you to oppose a sunshine request, but then we may be on the hook for legal fees if we have to pull records, right? I don't know, Jim, what would be,
Well, you know,
supply other information that would involve an attorney?
yeah, public records requests, you know, unless there's questionability of, you know, what's to be redacted, would generally just come from the, you know, the town clerk's office, public records access officer, would require relatively no legal expense there, unless there's a question on redaction.
So are we okay with doing this
Yeah.
without them paying our legal fees?
Right.
Because what happens if we have to pull in KP law?
Well,
What happens if we get sued
Mhm.
based on this?
Well, I don't think
Somebody
you can
comes
get
after
sued
us.
on the public records
Yeah.
recall.
Okay.
records.
Yeah, they just put in a
I mean,
complaint with the state
and
saying
have-
that we didn't comply with it, and they would have to prove, you
There
know,
would
how
have
we
to be
didn't
hearing
comply.
and.
Yeah, how we didn't comply with it.
I know, but as soon as you do any of that, you're calling KP law on the phone. Just saying, you know.
I mean, I will say that this is in, I've read every cable contract in the state, and this section is slightly worded different depending on who the provider is, but
Okay.
they all basically have that in there. And
All right.
that was a fun time.
And there's nothing really proprietary with Comcast that you would object to, that we would have our hands on.
I don't think-
Right, but
There'd
in
be
this
nothing.
case, they're defending a request that they don't want to fulfill. And they're asking us to cooperate with that, which means now we're in with them.
Well, it's a public record request, we're asking to comply with the public record request.
Yeah, but we wouldn't even have that information anyways.
Maybe we wouldn't, maybe we would, I don't know. I mean,
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm fine if you guys think it's fine, but I'm just saying,
Yeah, I-
you know.
Couldn't see the situation, although you just never know these days, but I just can't fathom a situation where we would have any information from them.
Here's what would be nice, is the licensee will pay all legal fees to
To
defend.
defend a public access request.
Yeah, whatever you wanna, however you wanna word it, I mean, because then we could freely
Yeah.
say, okay, yeah, we're not gonna worry about getting sued or getting, you know, whatever. Here, we'll help you all you want, you know?
Yeah, I do wanna, mention that town council did review this, and they had recommend, that the board approve this. And, you know, Jeff Blake went through this as well as Travis. And, you know, this type of language, besides, you know, the negotiations of the percentages and peg channels and other things, is pretty much standard
Okay.
language.
I mean, the thing is, this specific part of the sentence was added, that's why.
Mhm.
We didn't have it before,
Okay.
right? It's new. And to the extent permitted by law, cooperate with licensee in opposing such request. So that's new for us.
I mean, I just know this was negotiated with Jeff, this is based on their template from the language in that KP law. I don't wanna speak on behalf of KP law, I think that's something you guys have to
Right.
discuss with KP law, but this was, you know, this was really based on,
They sent the original draft,
Yeah.
and then we both
Okay.
kind of back and forth, all right, we'll have this line.
I don't,
All right,
Comcast didn't add that language.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe Jeff might have.
all right. So he'd be willing to waive fees if we run into problems.
Write it down.
Oh, you're funny tonight.
Like I said, there's 400 something cable contracts in the state. I've read every single one of them, and it's pretty much similar in every single one, just depending on who, Comcast, most of theirs all look the same, all of Charter's all look the same, so a little bit of variation in the wording, but pretty
Yeah,
much same thing.
Really can't see a situation where a public information request would be opposed, in any way, because we don't have, it's not like we're working corporate for them. We're not up in their corporate office giving their stuff. We don't have any of that stuff. We have our contract. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, no, I understand, but,
That's the only documentation we have other than videos, which is public information anyways,
And
so.
and we don't have to make up anything.
Yeah.
Somebody
Yeah.
asks
No, I
us to
know.
make up a list
I
of who
know.
has Comcast, we don't have to do that.
okay, the next one, 8.1, this line was removed. All rates, fees, charges, deposits, and associated terms and conditions to be imposed by a licensee or any other affiliated person for any cable service as of the effective date shall be in accordance with applicable FCC state regulations, 41 or 47 USC 543. So, again, why would you pull that out? So did you say Jeff would have pulled this out, right?
It's very well possible. These were the revisions that were, again, negotiated with Jeff and Eileen and Comcast. So,
Okay.
So what exactly was taken
It still says licensees shall follow applicable FCC and
Yes.
state notices, so
So-
it still basically says that, it just doesn't say the chapter. and
Yeah, I
verse.
mean, maybe it's redundant, but the first sentence is a little more specific. So, okay.
You may have pulled it out because it's too specific,
I don't know. Yeah.
because sometimes you don't wanna get too specific because then it locks you into just that. So,
Yeah. All right. 9.2 C. The following was removed at the end. Policy will contain a provision that the issuing authority will receive 30 days written notice prior to any cancellation. So this is insurance coverage, including workman's comp, shall be maintained throughout the period of this renewal license. All expenses incurred for said insurance shall be the sole expense of licensee. So I guess,
typically, and I can attest to this, that, when we have contracts, I like to put them in there as, if their insurance doesn't get renewed, but I guess the standard nowadays, from what I was told by our insurance provider, that you can't even ask that anymore.
oh, really? So C
Yeah.
is kind of like
Moot
moot?
point.
Okay, all right. Same thing, 9.3 B. Oh, all right. This should have been outdented too. Well, or those number bullets should have been indented. Well, because it's hard to read.
Karen's like, thank God somebody else is, it's not ours.
It's not just me.
Well, so it looks like A, 1, 2, 3, 4,
The
B.
indentation is too big.
I don't know, something should, yeah, the indentation is big. So this one is about, so this was removed from B. Licensee shall not reduce the amount or cancel said bond or materially change the terms of said bond from the provisions of section 9.3A, wherein without the issuing authority's prior written consent, blah, blah, blah. So that was pulled out. Any idea?
I would imagine that again, Jeff might have negotiated that out or took that out.
What was the exact wording again?
Okay, so this is regarding, they have a performance bond.
Yeah.
So what was pulled out is licensee shall not reduce the amount or cancel said bond or materially change the terms of said bond from the provisions of section 9(3)A, where herein, without the issuing authority's prior written consent, the issuing authority shall not unreasonably withhold its consent. So what it's saying is they have a performance bond, and B was trying to protect us from them changing the conditions of the bond without getting approval.
But it still says that except in less language. Authority in the event of cancellation, material change,
Okay,
reduction
I
of
mean,
coverage.
that's fine, I just wanna make sure that we're covered, that we're not giving up
Yeah.
Yeah,
rights,
so
right?
it looks like they took out a little bit of redundancy.
Okay. Can I go on? I got a couple more.
Yeah, I was just making sure, yeah, it's in there, so.
All right, 9.4A. So this is, the annual licensee fee payable to the issuing authority shall be maximum allowed by law per subscriber served as of the last day of the preceding calendar year, payable blah, blah, blah. This fee is currently 50 cents per subscriber, and what was removed is comma, but not less than $250 annually.
I don't think that's part of the statute, I think it's just 50 cents per subscriber, there's no minimum in the statute.
Okay,
So probably just bringing the language more in compliance with the statute.
okay. All right, that's fine. Nine, wait a minute, sorry, getting the other way. Yeah, I mean, 9.8 has the same problem. It's hard to read because the numbering, so this is page 38. Those numbers under 9.8, it's very confusing. But it's fine. I mean,
It's just not properly indented.
yeah, so it just, it doesn't read well. It's confusing, but whatever. I mean, ultimately, it's still gonna hold up.
I'm sorry, what section was that, 9 point?
So page 38, 9.8. Real, and there's even a missing A.
Here's on the other page,
No, it's on the previous page.
37.
Oh, is it? Let me see.
Down at the bottom of 37.
Oh, I see. Yeah, this is kind of,
So is
So-
it liquidated damages, or is it a different opportunity?
yeah, liquidated damages.
It's like 9.9.
So that's,
Yeah, it's just the indent level makes it confusing to read. But, you know, whatever. I'm not gonna, all right.
okay.
Yeah, that was the same thing. Oh, and then this one, let me see, 914. Oh, okay. Oh, so 913 and 914 got compressed into 913. Okay. It was fine. It was a little hard on the markup document to figure out what was going on. I think that might be it. Okay.
You good?
I'm good.
You pass with a C.
Yeah, all right, we'll give it a C.
Karen feels much better now.
Work on indentation.
I'm telling you, I would not want you to be my English teacher.
I think he missed his calling.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Alright.
you know what it probably was, I know Word gets funky sometimes, and you try doing the indented, it doesn't wanna do what
It
you
moves
I know.
everything down and.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
there are points I've done stuff, I'm like, you know, I don't even care anymore, I'm tired of fighting with it.
It's there,
Yeah.
it's
I
there.
guarantee that's probably what it is, somebody, you know, tried it 5 or 6 times, wasn't agreeing, they're like, you know, I'm done.
Yeah, word is awful.
All right, but the context of the agreement, did you have anything?
No, just those things that were removed that kind of bothered me, but I think if we're all set with those, you know, I'm good.
Okay. Did you have any questions, Bob?
I'm okay with the context, so. And the indentation too.
You didn't find any spelling errors or anything?
Don't lower your standards on
Missing a period somewhere?
I didn't find anything in Spanish either, so it's good.
Comcast gotta work on their grammatical
We'll work on that.
formatting here.
I like it, it's straight, it's nice.
Thank you.
All right. Do you have anything to add, sir?
You know, it's been a lot of work. I'm sure Eileen's sick of me at this point.
Not at all.
And maybe Jeff too, because been a lot of back and forth with him. But, you know, it's, you know, beneficial to the town, beneficial to cable access. You know, we had the increase in the franchise fee, which opens us up to do a lot more, for the town. You know, I mean, at this point, with how long, you know, how much Comcast has done in town with, you know, running wires, you look at the last contract we had, I think there were a whole bunch of line extensions, and that was one of the first things I had looked at when we, started the contract, because there are some areas not served in town, but when you look at it on the map, it's like, all right, if the house is here, the last line's way over here, it's like, okay.
I don't expect Comcast to run lines to my house.
Yeah, like, you know, I looked at it and, you know, we kind of mapped it out and it was like, okay, yeah, that would be a really hard sell
Yeah.
to, you know, run a line for one or two houses on this street. Unfortunately, you know, it's the area we're in.
It's rural.
Yeah.
And we gotta deal with rural living sometimes, and not everybody gets the full access.
Well, I thought Verizon was gonna give you access, right? Isn't that, a couple of weeks ago, they wrote a letter or something, right, to the town?
Yeah, but that's
Right.
internet.
Yeah,
But they said they'd run lines up there for internet access.
That's if they get, you know, the federal or
The
state
grant.
It's the
grant or
grant.
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, you know, I think it's, you know, really good. Like I said, you know, it's gonna help our PEG access a lot. Our video quality is gonna go up when Comcast can make that switch to HD. That'll be nice. Dave's face will not be blurry now.
I think more people are worried about the sound.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I mean, the sound, you know, we put a lot of effort into that, and that was one of the restricting factors is, you know, our franchise fee was basically covering payroll. And, you know, a couple things here and there, so now we're actually gonna be able to keep up with equipment and as things, you know, we can replace things when they need to be replaced, not, we're gonna run it till it's dead, and when it finally dies, then we can replace it, so.
But only after about a dozen people in town.
Yeah.
Are concerned about it.
So, you know, we're gonna be able to provide more services, have better service, you know, lots of different things like that, so.
Very
So
good.
I think overall it's great, and, you know, it's a pleasure working with Eileen, and she hears from me all the time anyways, not just about the contract, so.
Okay. Did you have anything to add, Teresa?
Josh did a great job. I'm great working with him, and I'm glad we know what we needed for the town and for us.
Eileen, did you have any?
I'd just like to thank Travis and James and Jeff from KP Law. It was a pleasure working with them. They, you know, they had a lot of good comments, a lot of good back and forth, and they obviously had the best interests of the town the entire time. I think this is a fair contract. I think it meets all the cable-related needs of the community, and we're happy to continue to serve the residents here, so thank you very much.
Very good. All right. With that said, open to the public.
Good.
Anybody have any comments or concerns about the cable contract? Just identify who you are.
I do.
Mm.
Can I sit while I talk?
Absolutely.
Okay. My name is Martha Lubatakis.
Okay.
Lifelong residents of this town.
Okay.
I was talking to Eileen earlier. I spoke to her about some issues that I had with Comcast.
Yeah.
Back when they were offering the $30 coupon for the seniors,
Mhm.
I had gone to get that. And what happened is cable put my bill up $20 more, so it was only a $10 coupon.
Yep.
I don't see the legality of that, I don't know, so I took everything to Springfield and I spoke with the representatives at their Springfield office. We went back and forth, and it wasn't pretty.
Yeah.
Pretty much what they said to me is what it is. I said, well, I don't want your Comcast anymore. I'm bringing everything back to you. Either that or give me back my $42 a month plan. Well, no, we can't do that. It'll cost you $72 now. And I said, no, I'll bring back my equipment. I brought, in the course of discussion, the manager of the store came over and put in his 2 cents, and he said to me, well, what are you gonna do for entertainment? I said, well, did you ever hear about reading? And he said, why don't you go home and watch TV tonight, you'll feel better tomorrow.
Nice.
At which point I said, I'll see you tomorrow without my equipment, and I brought it back. And it's been a year and a half and I haven't had anything. I told them to come and get the wires off my house because they don't need their wires if I'm not gonna use their service. They won't take the wires off because it's wired over to the next house over. They don't have senior programs. They say that the town has to negotiate senior discounts. Do you negotiate senior discounts in your contract?
The senior abatement?
So I know it was brought up earlier on in the meeting, and I've only seen 2 towns that have managed to work out like any kind of senior discount.
But why aren't we doing that for the seniors in this town?
It was something we had brought up to Comcast, and it was, I can't remember the
Comcast is ridiculous to try and negotiate with. They're too big. They're too big, they're too out of hand, and they're not nice to people when they go down to discuss reasonably. And just say, give me back my $42 plan and I'll be happy, I'll walk out of there. No, that is gonna cost you $72. No. What are we gonna do about people that treat customers like that?
Right.
Are we gonna allow that?
Well,
No.
it's concerning, and, you know, nobody should be treated or disrespected, no matter what company they're dealing with.
Exactly.
Customers are first, and they should be treated with respect and dignity. And I'm sorry you were treated that way. You know,
Well, I
and
appreciate your
it's good to
apology.
it's good to hear that feedback and hear that, you know, what your experience was with them. I know I've dealt with a few companies through my days, and I would never deal with them again because the way I was treated as a customer. And you know, that's my perspective on whether I would do business with certain companies again.
So I fall into a black hole because I won't accept that kind of treatment from people. Now.
But what
let
we
me-
are trying to do is,
Can I just
absolutely,
Google, in other states, they are going with Google, which is twice the speed, half the price.
but they're not a cable company, they're internet provider, right? So that's what I was gonna get on, is we just, we're working with Verizon through a grant process for Verizon to install all new internet lines throughout the community to give you high-speed internet as an option too. So the cable company would not be the only thing. If you chose to go through Verizon, you could actually do streaming services and have video through them on that type of, you know, aspect. So we're trying to give additional options to residents.
Don't forget, we've talked to Whip City
And,
Fiber
yeah, in
also.
Whip City, we could actually have our own internet provider through the town. And what that would do is, we would basically become our own utility and have our own internet access provider through our community. And you'd be able to stream through that too. So we're looking at options. You know, and I agree, companies like Comcast and the others are very big companies. But there just isn't others that would come to a community and do something, because they would have to install lines and
That's what they're
all
doing
that.
in Utah. They're installing all new,
So right now in the state, there's 5 cable providers. Comcast, Charter, RCN, Time Warner, and Verizon. Those are the only 5 that hold contracts in the state. And I mean, every town, it's typically one provider, with the exception of some of the cities, you see a second provider. Well, Boston's got 3 of them, but like each one owns a licensed
areas.
area in town. And I mean, historically speaking, I think it was like Fitchburg or Lunenburg, one of those towns, has been like the only one to really like actually manage to force a cable company like a switch, because of the amount of investment. You know, for us to get another provider in here, say Charter would have to negotiate basically buying all the infrastructure from Comcast. And you're just gonna see that reflected on your bill in the long run. It does put it in a tough spot because there's only, you know, that one option. I will say one lesser known thing that is kind of responsibility of cable advisory is if residents are trying to get somewhere with Comcast and they don't feel like they're getting anywhere with them, they can reach out to us. You know, that's part of our thing is, you know, we have contacts like Eileen and that at Comcast that we can go, hey, this resident is having this issue, they're not getting anywhere with customer service, can you help us out with them?
but why aren't we basically doing something to help the seniors? Because when I spoke to them about senior discounts and things like that, they said that starts at a level, at your town, they have to negotiate that. The seniors should have somebody advocating for them.
Right.
You know, or I hope one of these other plans that you're looking at are a
So-
little bit softer for seniors.
So I do believe, wasn't there a state thing?
So they
It's
have.
a state state program?
ACP,
Yeah,
So it's not actual through,
it's through the federal government.
right, so it's not through the cable company. You could actually get on an abatement program, I don't know, can you
It's
help with that?
$30 a
Yeah.
month towards
Your
I went
internet.
through
your
that.
internet.
I went
It's-
through that and
Yeah.
they put my bill up $20, so
It's-
the coupon came
but-
to 10.
But it's not on your cable bill,
Yeah.
it's on your internet and your cell phone, so you can, and you can use it, you can split up either way. And Comcast does have programs for low-income people, a $9.95 a month internet program for people that, as long as you meet the qualifications, which, you know, are, reduced free school lunch, Medicare, Medicaid, stuff like that, SSDI. You can get the $9.95 a month internet program, which is, been around for over 10 years now, and we've never raised the price on it, and that's another option for seniors as well. And, the $30 a month ACP, it's free money, it comes, you apply for it through the government, and then you go to your internet provider or your mobile phone provider, and then they do the rest, the other side, it's like a 2-part process. Then they do their paperwork, and then it automatically comes off your bill every month, and there's nothing more you have to do.
That's not how it worked for me. I mean,
It
it didn't work that way with me when I went through that program.
So what I would say is, and not knowing it, just knowing what you told me and not knowing what happened at the store, the ACP program just came out within the last, during the last year or so, it wasn't.
yeah, I think it was like
2 years.
2021 or 20.
Yeah, and it was called something else before that.
And it was basically a result of COVID, because all the
Yeah, it was,
schools.
right, it was like the emergency, it had some other name, emergency something, and then they changed it to ACP. And that's why I don't know if it was available, I don't know if that's the same program you're talking about, I'm going to look into this and get back to you to find out what happened. I'm just gonna need a little bit more information from you, but, we'll definitely look into it, but the ACP program is something you can certainly look into, that might be helpful.
So sometimes when you deal with somebody in a store, you might not be getting the best educated person on that subject. and they're probably trying to sell a product or provide a service to you. Eileen, she's great to help for questions, and then also you get Travis and Lisa here from our local access network. So if you're not getting anywhere with somebody, they'll be here to help you too and provide any assistance they can. And we are trying to offer other solutions where we're giving other internet options to residents. And that would allow you to stream something. And then you also can get satellite. I have DirecTV. You know, that's all I can get where I live, but I love it.
I don't
But
even
it's,
have a TV.
it's also, it's the only thing I can get because I don't have cable lines going to my house. And they're never gonna run them because it costs millions of dollars just to run to our couple properties. And that's not a good return investment on them. You know, you gotta look at, sometimes we just can't have certain things in a community. Again, I'm sorry that that happened to you, but we can put you in connection with the people that can help you and maybe give you better options. And we are working on other solutions too.
I would be interested in seeing some of the other solutions that we have coming up.
Yeah, and we were talking like Whip City, which was, definitely seemed really promising, and that would be our own, like, it's our town's internet provider, so anything we put into it for bills, we put back into the community. So your bill is basically coming to the town, and the town is using that money to either upgrade the equipment, or add more lines, or it's your internet. It's Warren's internet. And then also we got Verizon, which is gonna be installing all new lines through the community, and that's through grants that they're getting. If they can get the grants, we authorize them to go after the grants on our behalf. And if they can get those grants, we can get that in the community too. So that gives us more options. Unfortunately, sometimes companies become so big, it's like National Grid. You know, you really
Right.
can't choose who you're getting your electricity from. You may go to a different, smaller company, but they're still buying it from National Grid.
National Grid, now we've been good to me, they can't complain.
But,
about them
you know,
at all.
it's, you know, they may change the name on the bill, but it's coming from the same company,
Yeah.
so.
I'm just running off a assumption, but I think one of the reasons not a lot, you know, very few towns have been able to negotiate like a senior discount is because the cable license only covers cable TV, doesn't cover like the internet and phone service. Cable companies, you know, like any other business, they wanna sell you a bundled package. So now if you're throwing in, you know, they're trying to sell cable and internet, but contracts negotiated with a discount for cable, now it just kind of becomes makes for a more complicated process for everybody. That's just my assumption, but, like I said, there's only a couple that I've seen that had anything in there for a contract. I think they were charter, to be honest, I could be wrong, but, and they were like I think it was like a 3 or 5% discount. It was,
But
Well, that's not
nonetheless,
much at all.
No.
negotiations are meant to be for everybody's good.
right,
And when you have.
But the thing is there's already a federal program, and I think that's what it was, is it was a redundancy, because there's already a federal program there which does that and gives you a discount of $30. You just gotta enter that federal program, so.
And that's,
Comcast put the bill up, $20, so that coupon was only worth 10.
Yeah, I don't see how it went in, but Eileen's gonna look into it, and I don't see how that went, or why that would've happened, but
I mean, it
She's
could-
saying
could
she
have
will
been a
get
matter
back
of
to you on
employee
that.
Clicking a button wrong on, you know, the computer to, you know, generate a rate or something like that, you know, not actually how things should have laid out. Could have been that, you know, that particular employee or something, you know, not doing things the right way and not realizing they made a mistake.
I appreciate
A lot of
everything
factors.
you're doing today.
I wonder if
Right,
they
right.
were gonna do a mistake the other way, when they make 20% discount.
I
There's
appreciate-
always the mistake is charging more, but they never make mistakes charging
Well,
less.
Well,
you,
but it was.
you really wanna stop picking bills apart, look at your, I don't know if you have, well, I don't wanna throw out a phone service out there, but there's certain cell phone bills that they will charge you fees, and when you talk to them about the fees, they can't explain what the fee is actually for.
There's a certain one of them that's part of
But
the
I
class
wouldn't
actions
say
too, now
anything
for that.
because, you know, but there are, cause I've had a issue and, the people on the phone, the customer service people could not explain, and I even got forwarded up higher, and they're like, yeah, we don't even exactly know what that fee is. I'm like, well, take it off. Well, we can't take it off. Well, you don't know what the fee is, you don't know what it does, you don't even know why people are getting charged for it, but you charge it. You know, so, it's big companies, and when we sign these contracts with them and we say, agreed, give me my service, and you don't read through the 900 pages of legalese, so.
I appreciate you all listening to what I have to say. I mean, I think it's important for you to know that, and I'm not speaking, you've been very kind to me, but for this, and I've been watching a few other towns that are complaining about the same thing. The treatment that they've gotten from that place on Boston Road, some have great results, and there are more and more people complaining, and I thought to myself, I know exactly what they're
Now-
going through.
Do they directly work for Comcast?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm gonna look into it to find out what's going on.
Yeah, because if you're having customer service problems, that's not
No,
good
that's
for your
not-
company, and that's not beneficial if you're losing customers because of, how people are being treated.
Mm.
I'll definitely look into that.
Well, anyway, thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
A pleasure.
Your ear.
Do you have anything else?
No, I'm just looking for senior discounts, and I'm looking to somebody be accountable for
Well,
the baloney.
Can we
And
get
the wires off my
information
house.
for that program? Is that something you guys can help her with?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think, I'd have to pull
I
them
can
out.
send it to you tomorrow.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I have it in my email somewhere, we actually had it
Yeah,
running
I'll
on
send
the
you all
channel
the
Still-
for a
information.
while.
And just so you know, on that program, that box, I have several people that I know that have had that box. And every year, their bill has increased more and more, so it's not even cost effective for them right now either. So it's not just me.
Yeah.
I'm
It's-
just not afraid to speak up about it.
No, and this is how we know about these things, and you get these messages to, you know, the people that work directly for, you
Right.
know, Comcast, and, you know, speaking to some younger adult in a store is probably not gonna be the best option, but, you know, you're talking to a woman that deals specifically with the contracts and negotiations through towns, and believe me, this was a tough negotiation, and you know, Travis, everybody fought for everything in this contract to get the best we can, and you know, it was a long process. We started this,
2 or 3 years ago, because I came to one of the.
it was a long
meetings,
time ago.
But then I turned in all my cable, so I didn't know
Yeah.
when the subsequent meetings were, so I wasn't able to attend them.
Yeah.
Because I don't have Comcast, I don't have cable TV, I don't have access.
But there are good, and if you want to watch town meetings, Travis can hook you up how to get through via
Yeah.
Wi-Fi and through internet too.
I don't have Wi-Fi or internet.
Well, these are options you're gonna be able to have from other companies
So
too.
I'll be delighted to see what you have.
See, we're trying to bring options, and you would be able to still stream, and I think it's free, right?
Yeah, our live stream. I mean, even if you have a smartphone, you can get the government channel. You can get that on the smartphone now. You don't even, without cable or anything. It's a whole app you can put on there, and you can see ours and a whole bunch of other towns too.
Oh, that's good.
And that's why we also put it on Facebook and YouTube, and, you know, it's Zoom. So we try to put it out there as much as possible, the meetings, so everybody can see them, because not everybody gets,
Well, they're big on
The local access.
connectivity right now, so let's get cracking on it, and so
Yeah.
that more people, can affordably have some kind of access
Yeah.
without it being 20% of their,
well, that's why we're looking into Whip City too, because internet fees are very expensive, and the town could set the price on the internet,
right.
on what we have, and anything you pay for a bill just goes back to the town. And making sure you get that service continued. So we have to be able to, instead of paying thousands of technicians to oversee it, we're providing to our town. So, it's options.
Okay, as long as you got options going, that's.
We got options, we're always looking for the
That's for the
future.
guts, an option.
I believe all seniors should have cable for free.
Yeah.
Thank you, that would be kind.
You know, they will, any company who does that, they will get a lot of new customers. You know,
Really?
paying customers
Yeah.
because of doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys are,
Seniors
you
and
know,
veterans.
seniors are.
Although I don't think it'd work out very well if you lived in Florida.
Seniors have a budget,
Depends on where in Florida you live.
Yeah.
and it's hard. Today is very hard. So if one of these big companies comes with this idea, I think that I would love to see that.
So one of the things we are doing as a town is we're really trying to keep costs down for our residents. And the seniors is something we really focus on, is trying to make sure costs are staying down. There's just costs that are going up that we have no control of, but what we're trying to do as a town is keep everything down, like the tax rate, we just lowered the tax rate, that went down 73 cents. So, yeah, 73 cents.
Something like that,
So we brought the tax rate down because property values are going up.
Just gonna say
And your
it's
tax
going up.
rate is assessed on the property value. It's good to people that want equity in their homes, because now their homes are worth a lot more, but we're lowering the tax rate so you're not being burdened so much. And we're trying to keep those costs down for everybody, and that's why we're exploring other options too. And if you notice, we did a lot in the senior center too. And the senior center, by the way, gets free internet, right? Free internet?
cable.
Free cable.
Cable.
They get free cable over there. So it's part of the contract, so, you know, trying to do what we can. But,
Come run a wire from my house to the senior center.
well, I don't know, I recommend that.
I didn't say that, no. No,
But
thank you very much.
we're always looking out.
I really appreciate looking into options and things for us,
Yeah, you're welcome.
okay?
Do you have anything else?
No, just get senior discounts. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
everybody.
Thanks, Mark.
Did anybody else have anything? Anything about the cable contract?
Can I just get
No? Is there any opposition to the contract? Anybody via Zoom or anything? There's nobody on Zoom. We'll still keep on providing it.
Now you got a chance to log into it, so.
All right, so nobody via Zoom, nobody here, opposition to it. With that said, moving on. Do you guys have anything to add?
I just have one last question. Is there anything in this contract that you wanted that you didn't get?
So the only one we I don't know if it'd really be something you'd throw in the contract. We did discuss it with Eileen. We were looking at running a fiber line to the high school. That's like a $30,000 investment. But Eileen did say, you know, the engineers will work with us on getting better equipment because we've had issues with that connection. It's because the type of wiring it is. It's a very, very niche market.
It's
Running
fiber
that-
optics, right?
Well,
Fiber
the
optic.
elementary school is fiber optic. The high school is a street level coaxial cable. So that runs an RF transmission. So
Or
very.
you want fiber optic?
We'd like fiber optic. It kind of was part of the discussion the town probably would have had to pay for it. From what I've talked with other towns and that, they were on the hook for it. We got a quote, it was about $28,000 to run fiber optic the mile to the
How
school.
long ago was that quote?
A couple, like, it's actually the quote's still good.
Okay, all right.
So I kinda told Comcast, I was like, well, if you could commit that the engineers will help us get the equipment that will work on that RF signal, saves the town, saves everybody from doing that fiber optic. Cause the problem is, it's a very small market, and pretty much the only people that know how to deal with that stuff work for the cable companies. I cannot, for the life of me, find a company that can say, oh, this is the encoder you need, or the decoder you need. And part of it's just the proprietary nature of Comcast's wiring. So, I mean, that's not in the contract, but, I spoke with Eileen about it, and she said, they can definitely work with their engineers on helping us out in that, so, to improve that connection at the school. That's really the only thing that wasn't in there.
Okay.
All right, but you're good with that, right?
Yeah.
And we worked out a deal or an understanding to get assistance from the engineers for that.
Oh, absolutely. Even before Travis, I would get calls from.
Yeah, that's where I
Igor.
really got
Igor,
sick. It's
yeah.
like, oh, hey, I need this.
Yeah, so I mean, we worked with him extensively. I'd call
it's-
him on vacation, and he'd be somewhere traveling, and he'd have a problem. Whatever we can do will help. And we were always willing to do that.
Yeah, the big thing is, like, I gotta reach out to Eileen, cause like the last couple engineers, they're like, I don't even know who would deal with that. So,
We'll figure it out.
All right, so there's no opposition, nothing else to add?
I'm good.
Good?
Good.
Do you have anything to add?
I'll just reiterate that Jeff and Travis worked very hard on the negotiations aspect of it, and Jeff Blake, our town council, in his opinion, in the email that I received from him today, that he is proposing that the board, move forward with the license agreement with Comcast and execute it.
Okay. I have nothing further to add, and since there's no opposition and we're all under agreement.
All right.
Go forward.
I'll make a motion to move that after a period of ascertainment and public input, the issuing authority determines that the package of financial and other benefits offered by Comcast would be a substantial advantage not only to the present and future cable subscribers within the town, but also to all residents of the town, and hereby issues a cable television renewal license on the terms and conditions in the document titled Cable Television Renewal for the Town of Warren, Massachusetts, renewal term January 1, 2024 to December 31st, 2033.
Second,
All in favor?
Richi Hacker, aye.
Betty's aye.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion passes unanimously, and we are approving the
All
contract.
four. And then David signs this one also.
All right, just sign that one.
Go upstairs.
You could give Eileen a copy of that.
I will go make a copy for Eileen.
Yep.
This,
We'll
okay.
adjourn from this meeting.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the public hearing for the Comcast, or cable television public hearing.
Second,
All in favor?
Rich Hacker, aye.
Derek Bailey's aye.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion passes unanimously. We are adjourned from the cable television public hearing.
You wanna keep recording?
Okay.
Yeah, let's just keep recording.
Okay.
Or you wanna stop it? Okay.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
Yeah,
Nobody else.
different files.
Thank you
Recording
again.
stopped.
Thank you again, everyone, take care.
Thank you.
Ready?
Recording in progress.
Okay, welcome everybody to the Board of Selectmen meeting for January 4th, 2023. It is 7:08 PM. Our cable meeting ran a little longer, so we had to extend it out a little bit. But, so everybody knows, we are recording via WCAT 6.
Just leave
I
the
had to
number
write it down
off.
somewhere.
Just leave the
WCAT
number.
6, which is our local access network, also via Zoom and streaming via Facebook. If anybody else is recording, please let us know, so we can notify the public of that. And can I please have everybody stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everybody. Okay. So first thing on the agenda is discussion on possibly appointing a resident to the Warren Housing Authority Board. Anticipated vote. Okay. And we have a resident interested? Hello. Are you, let me see. Patricia,
Yes.
how you doing tonight?
Good.
Do you wanna come up front so everybody can see you? Are you nervous?
No.
No? Do you wanna come up front?
Come up front?
Yeah. How you doing tonight?
I'm fine.
Well, you can sit down if you want. You just, so everybody can see you on the camera easier,
Oh.
instead of being tucked back there.
Okay.
Unless you wanted to stand.
No, that's okay.
All right. So you're interested in joining the Warren Housing Authority Board?
Yes.
Okay. And what makes you interested in joining?
I'm sorry?
Why are you interested in joining?
Well, I'm retired,
Yeah.
and I live at Wentworth Terrace, just down the street. I've had a lot of experience with people
Okay.
in the past with my jobs at different high schools. One I worked at for 20 years,
Okay.
another at public school for a couple of years as a substitute.
Okay.
When I moved out to Warren, this is my first experience out here in Central Mass,
Okay.
Mhm.
or is it Western Mass?
It's debatable.
We're on the edge.
So we're almost into Western Mass, and I had a lot of free time, and I thought maybe that I could help out on the board
Okay.
with the housing authority where I live,
Yeah.
just to help out and get things done.
Okay. Very good. And you used to be a school teacher?
Yeah,
Okay. What did you teach?
I taught in a private school for aesthetics and cosmetology
Okay.
in Brockton, Mass.
All right.
And then I taught at Bristol Plymouth Vocational Technical School in Taunton, Mass.
Okay. Yeah.
And they're all basically trade schools,
Mhm.
and I did that for quite some time. Retired in 2014.
Okay. Very good. Bet you that feels good now.
Mhm.
I'm gonna be there someday, hopefully. At least I hope to be someday. All right. Do you have anything that you want us to know about you?
No, other than, I would like to still do something, and I think this would be rewarding. Just trying to help some of the neighbors, and maybe, try to improve where we live. And make more of use of my time, than just taking walks and I got into photography, taking pictures
Oh.
and things like that. And, so it's beautiful up here.
It is.
I come from the East Coast and everything is flat.
Yeah.
I'm used to being near the ocean, but I will tell you, the mountains and the hills around here are beautiful.
Yeah. We have a lot of unique features in our community, which also create havoc on our cell phone signals, but we still love the views, so.
Yeah, I still, I'd like to stay active and as I said, try to help people get what they need or what they want and, just do something that is rewarding.
Okay. How long have you lived in Warren now?
That,
How long have you lived in Warren now?
it's going on 7 years.
Okay. Yeah, very good. Very good. Do you have any questions?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
No, she sounds great.
Do you have any questions, sir? Do you have anything, sir?
The town council, I do want to let the board know, town council has issued an opinion that this particular position would have to be up for re-election in May.
Yeah.
So,
Did somebody resign or something, or?
I believe this is filling a vacancy,
Oh, okay.
you know.
Was it?
By death. The death of a
Okay.
member.
Okay.
So are you willing to run for election in May? To continue?
When it comes up,
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll vote for you.
Sorry, that's good. All
She's
right.
a photographer. Okay.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, as soon as I knew she had you, as soon as you said
Yeah.
that, he's kind of our town photographer. So, I don't know if you go on Facebook or anything. He does a lot of photos on Facebook. Him and Mr. Hennessy.
Yeah.
Beautiful photos. All right. We don't have any other questions. Does anybody else have any questions or concerns about the appointment? No opposition to the appointment? Okay. I think you're great.
okay?
All right, motion?
Yep.
All right, how do you say your last name?
Yazadiva,
Mazapika.
just the way it looks.
Yeah. I'll make a motion to appoint Patricia Mazapika to the Warren Housing Authority until the town election on May 7th, 2024.
Second,
All in favor?
Rich Ihacker, aye.
Derek Bellis, aye.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion passes unanimously. Welcome to the board.
Thank you.
And, does she have to be sworn in?
She does.
Okay, so just let Karen know you're gonna have to get sworn in with the town clerk.
Yeah, the town
And
clerk did say
go through
that
that.
she would come tomorrow, if
Okay.
you could, tomorrow morning. So I'll have everything ready for that.
And what
So-
time is that?
I don't know, did she?
1:30.
Okay.
1:30.
1:30?
Yeah, we have a big board meeting at 2:00 that we're going into executive session, and we'd like to have her.
Have her
on.
sworn in so she can be there for
That's
us.
right.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
So she can
So,
start out
you know,
running.
12 o'clock, 1:30, anytime in there.
Sounds good.
Yeah, they just let us know best time because the town clerk's office is closed tomorrow. So you have to
She
let
just
Lori
said
know.
she would come in.
So when you think you can be here,
Yeah, even if
We
it's
can let-
earlier in the morning, that's fine.
Okay, in the morning?
Yeah,
Any morning?
early
Tomorrow.
morning, tomorrow morning.
Okay,
So I'm here at 8. She probably doesn't come in until about 10.
okay,
So you want to do 10 o'clock tomorrow morning?
that's fine.
Okay,
It's
we'll
probably
do
good to
that.
just set a time.
Yep, 10
instead
o'clock
of
tomorrow
leaving it
morning.
open.
So be here for 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, and
Be
just
all-
make sure the building's open for,
I will.
Okay.
and you get sworn in. This way you'll have your meeting for
Perfect.
2 o'clock, plenty of time.
Plenty of time.
All right,
All right,
great.
welcome
Thank
to
you,
the team.
ladies.
And I'll mention, there's other boards and committees you can get, be on if you, if this doesn't quite fill all your time.
We're always trying to recruit for other positions. We always have other things that we can get people doing.
Let her get her feet wet.
All right.
It sounds like it might be something, like I said, we wanted.
Very.
Yeah.
I'm still feeling good and make somebody else's life a little better, maybe, you know,
Yeah.
that's what my next avenue is, I don't know, we'll see.
All right.
Good luck.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, now moving on. Discussion on possibly entering into a contract between the town and Central Massachusetts Regional Planning Commission, CMRPC, for the purpose of updating the town's master plan Phase 1 anticipated vote. Mr. Ferrara, you have something else?
Yep, thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Before you this evening, as you may recall, earlier this fall, the town was awarded a state grant from the Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities for $75,000. That was part of our grant application that we had submitted for the One Stop for Growth in FY24. This is to update the existing master plan for the town, the entire town. This would be Phase 1. As part of our grant, our award, there is a match of $10,001 that the town is responsible for. Before you this evening is a proposal from the Central Mass Regional Planning Commission, CMRPC, to actually start working on the master plan and to execute this with the town. They have been a long-standing partner with the town for some time now, and they certainly do know the ins and outs of the town. Their proposal that they're bringing before you this evening also includes examples of master plans that they've worked on or are currently working on. They just recently finished up doing some master planning in Rutland, Mendon, Boylston, Holden, West Brookfield a short while ago. So they're very familiar with the area. And when you're looking for planning partners to be part of you and to understand your community, you wanna gear towards somebody that understands the community in the region and the area. And this is where I think that CMRPC would really shine and be beneficial for the town because they're of their experience in the area, for these types of services. I think it's something that we don't have to go out for procurement because of the type of services that they're providing. It's not saying that we couldn't, but they have been our partner for quite some time. They know the ins and outs. They made a strong case in their proposal as to why they should be selected. And I feel that the town would benefit from having their expertise in this.
Mhm.
Did you have any questions, sir?
I don't. CMRPC's been really good to us, and I don't see why we wouldn't approve this.
I agree. And they definitely know the community. They are doing master plans for other towns surrounding us. So that works well for us because they understand the area and what others are doing within the area too. So they can bring that experience and knowledge to our master plan. And, they've always been really great with us. So, did you have anything, sir?
I second what you said.
Okay. Thank you. Anybody have?
They are planning, if this was to be approved this evening, they are looking at a date of January 25th
Mhm.
as a kickoff, which is a Thursday.
Okay.
And they have potentially reserved that spot available for us. And again, with any master type of planning, it's gonna, also require community participation. And people to provide input, people to, give some history of the town, to people to provide, some, comments, suggestions, concerns, are really what will make an updating of our master plan even more efficient and effective for future years. And our current master plan is old, it's 2006. So, it's time, to update it. So this will be very helpful for the town.
Very good. All right. Anybody have any questions about the master plan? No? All right. I think it's a great option, and I think it's a long-lasting relationship we've had with CMRPC, and I think it's great to continue it. So,
All right.
let's move forward.
I'll make a motion to enter into a contract with Central Mass Regional Planning Commission for the town's master plan, Phase 1.
Second,
All in favor?
Richi Hacker, aye.
Derek Bailey's aye.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion passes unanimously.
David needs to sign both of those.
So one is the actual agreement for 75,000, the contractual agreement. The other is for the cash match. So the town has to provide the cash match of 10,000.
And we have that 10,000 available for it,
Yep.
because we have that matching grant.
Yep, we do.
We do. That is very nice.
It's called planning ahead.
Yeah.
Remember back in the day when we had to debate every little penny? Ugh.
Master plans are fun.
Interesting times. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on. Review and discussion, I messed that one up. Review and discuss a proposal from Jeffrey and Jeffrey, Inc. for the handling of the collection of unpaid parking tickets. Anticipated vote. This is because we've been switching over some services from our previous collector, and Jeffrey and Jeffrey has taken over the tax collection.
The deputy tax collection.
Deputy tax collection for us, and they've been doing a pretty good job.
Yeah.
So, and they're right here in Ware, so they're easy to go to. They maintain office hours, so if people need to take care of this stuff, they're always available. And I think they have online paying services too, right?
Yes.
Provide online paying, so it makes it more convenient for people. Okay. Did you have anything you wanted to add, Mr. Farrar, on this one?
No, I think this would just streamline and basically mirror what we're doing in our deputy tax collection services. It just makes sense to have it all within this one house operation. I mean, the cost is minimal, $2 per ticket. I don't anticipate the town issuing a ton of tickets, but,
It is winter. It's usually when the parking tickets come out, so, because of the winter weather ban.
Yeah,
Yep.
we've had 5 this week.
5 tickets.
5 tickets that have been paid this week,
Oh.
not
Not issued,
Oh,
more
okay.
issued.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, 5 tickets that have been paid this week.
Do you have any questions, sir?
So it says attached is, last paragraph, is an information page in regards to additional fees. We don't have that.
I never, I didn't get that.
Oh,
I only got this, this page from
Okay.
our collector, so, maybe the collector has an attachment as well.
okay. I
can
mean,
check with her.
I'm fine with the $2 per ticket
Mm.
Yeah.
fee. I mean, so unless there's something crazy on that additional,
I mean, maybe
Page, then.
there's fees if the payment is returned of some sort, they may have an
There's-
Oh, it's check fees?
There's
Mhm.
also fees if they have to go to the state, and they charge the person for those fees.
So it's not the
Okay.
town?
So it's not to the town.
okay. All right.
Right. Do you have any questions, sir?
No, sir.
Right. Do a motion?
All right. Make a motion to accept Jeffrey and Jeffrey, Inc. for the handling of the collection of unpaid parking tickets.
Second,
All in favor?
Rich Ihacker, aye.
Derek Bailey's aye.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion passes unanimously. Moving on, discussion on possibly retaining the services of Weston and Sampson for engineering services / construction administration for Phase 2 of the fiscal year 2022 and 23 School Street Improvement Project. Anticipated vote.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Farrar?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. This is a similar situation as we were with CMRPC. This is basically giving me the authorization to continue on, using Weston and Sampson. Even though Weston and Sampson, they're providing engineering services, we don't have to go out to a level of procurement or to bid for those services. However, I do want to bring this to the board's attention that, if you want to continue with them, which I think the town should, based on, what their past performance is, their knowledge of the area, and the flexibility of working with them. I think they've been a good partner for the town. But however, if the board wants or orders me to go out to a level of procurement, then I certainly can. But I think it's reasonably fair for this type of work. The contract that they're looking to get of $63,000 for engineering and construction administration. And they're familiar with the area. They've put together a proposal. If the board so chooses to continue the relationship with Weston and Sampson, if they want to authorize me just to sign the memo, so I can keep it in the file in case we ever, were to be audited to some extent.
Did you have any questions, sir?
No, I think we should do this, because I think
Yeah.
Weston and Sampson has been a great partner for many, many years, working with PVPC, Pioneer Valley Planning Commission, and then Central Mass Regional Planning Commission, so.
I'm good with it.
I will also note that the highway surveyor, Jeremy Olson, did also, I did reach out to him and wanted to, kind of gauge what his perspective was. He has no problem working with Weston and Sampson, and he thought they were a good partner for the town.
Okay. Very good. Mr. Belize, do you have anything?
No questions.
Okay. Anybody have any questions about it? No? Okay, moving on.
All right. So, what do
Remember,
you,
we gotta authorize Mr. Farrar to sign.
yeah, but you're signing a memo?
Just the memo to the file.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to retain Weston and Sampson for engineering services and construction administration for Phase 2 of the fiscal year 22-23 School Street Improvement Project, and authorize the town administrator to sign the memo of understanding to engage them.
There will be a formal contract later on.
Okay.
Second,
All in favor?
Rich Ihacker, aye.
Derek Bailey's aye.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion passes unanimously. And you are authorized to sign, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. Review with possible vote to approve a settlement agreement between the town of Warren and Copart of Connecticut, Inc. Litigation, Copart of Connecticut versus Town of Warren, Worcester Superior Court, case number 2185 CV 01353. Anticipated vote on this one. Now, this one is out of executive session now, because of, most of this was handled and negotiated within executive session because of the nature of the contents and because there was a legal concern with this. And in the end, the town basically got what we were asking for. And I think it's a good fight for the town, and it really kind of puts a standard out there that needs to be followed for auto recycling within our town. Mr. Farrar, did you have something for this?
No, I will just say that this is also on the agenda for the planning board on Monday.
Mhm.
The planning board will hopefully be reviewing this and making a decision on this on Monday. Before you this evening is the agreement, and for lack of better terms, I think it was a fair agreement between both parties.
Yep. Okay. Do you have anything to add?
No, I'll just say the planning board did a good job.
Yes, indeed.
You sure did. All right. You giggle about over there. Does anybody have any questions about this? In the settlement? Sure thing. How you doing, Rick?
Could you just give us a quick overview as to what the settlement actually is?
Basically, it's a settlement on their permit. When they applied, there was a lot of things that we were putting into the special permit for them. And they objected to a lot of those things as far as with the planning board, how it was being written, because there were time restrictions. There were test pits for water testing and evaluation, and how those tests would be conducted, what would be tested for like VOCs, things like that. So there's a lot of things that were added to that permit that forced them to do certain things. And during that first part, I think they become very concerned that those things were being added to their permit that they were applying for. And they sought legal counsel. And through our legal counsel, and back and forth, basically all those things are in there. There was some legal terms added to how tests would be conducted and who would be conducting the tests, as far as like special professionals that were clearly defined on who would be doing the tests. And the hours of operation, there was a lot of concern about their hours of operation because there was a lot of input from residents that they were operating through all hours of the day and night. And residents were very concerned with that and wanted that to stop. And they fought us a little bit on that. They were very concerned about that. They wanted the freedom, but ultimately it's in there. And this would hold them to certain things. No idling outside their facility, no staging vehicles and waiting to go in till Coparts opens. And it basically holds them to certain core hours during the week that they can operate on. Unless there's a national disaster or emergency, and then they would have to come back in front of the board and request permission to declare that type of emergency, to extend the hours, to be able to deal with that type of emergency. But the board has the sole discretion to approve that. You know, if we find that, you know, a volcano eruption in Hawaii does not constitute an emergency in Warren, and there's no benefit to it. You know, it has to relate to our situation. So that was what was really negotiated. So it was basically a back and forth, and now we've come to the agreement where,
So it sounds like they initiated legal actions against the town.
yes,
The town had to respond and utilize legal resources.
yes.
Was there a cost to the town for that negotiation to transpire, and did we get reimbursed for it?
Yes, there was a cost to the town, and no, we don't. It's legal expenses, and that's also in here that we're not gonna hold them responsible for the financial aspects of it. But there's also a public health interest that we had to look out for, because with auto recycling, there's a lot of chemicals involved.
Sure.
And we were very concerned about the environment and what was being put into the ground and what could potentially be there. So by the nature of their work, it's just what's gonna happen. So that's why we had to address it the way we were. And also, there was a lot of input from residents about the hours of operation, because they basically had free reign to do it at any time. And we had to address it. And because we did address it, it caused them to fight back. So, and of course, the lawyers get involved, and that's gonna cost. But this is settled now, and there's no more, after this, the discussion is over, and we don't have to incur any more legal fees with this. And we did protect the town, ultimately with this, so.
It's a public document now, so if you wanna look at it,
Yeah.
you're free to get a copy.
Okay.
It's good, though. I think it's
Yeah.
it's protecting the residents there and the town. And putting into place some, I don't wanna call it restriction, but conditions that don't exist today.
Right.
So we actually clamp down somewhat on the operation once this goes into effect.
So, yeah,
Things like hours of operation is a good example.
that was a
Right
big
now-
one for a lot of people,
right now-
because people that live there,
Yeah, they can do anything at any time right now. 3 in the morning, 3 in the morning on Sunday, on Easter, Christmas Day, it doesn't matter. But now, they can't.
Okay.
So, it's a big improvement.
any other questions, sir? And again, once, did you have something?
I would just add, just for the public's knowledge, you know, this initial petition from the plan, that started with the planning board on the special permit, started September 14th of 2020. So that's when the initial application of that happened. And then on December 30th of 2021 was when Copart had filed a complaint against the town. So from December 30th of 2021 till now is what we were trying to, you know, work out and try to get that agreement to as quickly as possible, so that, you know, we could, you know, stop incurring, you know, legal fees.
Yeah.
Sometimes, unfortunately, when we go to battle for the town and try to protect the town, you know, some of these big projects don't like that, and they sick the lawyers on us. And the only way they're ever gonna settle is if we don't try to reincur those costs and get those costs back through legal fees. That's kind of a standard thing that we see in any of these contracts. It's like, okay, we're not gonna sue you anymore, as long as you don't sue us. We mutually agree to this. You know, unfortunately, we have to pay fees that incur to it. Good, sir.
It is what it is, so, yeah.
It's the nature
I
of the
don't-
beast.
I don't like it, I don't agree with it, I think, I would need to know more to make any actual comments about it further, but I would encourage you to be willing to, if we're right and they're wrong, just like I appreciated the lady speaking up earlier today. But I understand, you've answered my question, I don't need to go on
Well,
about it.
without, again, a
I
lot of that's
appreciate,
negotiated in
I
executive
appreciate you looking
session.
out for the town's interest.
And
Well,
that's what we
it'd be-
try to do.
How about this, it's something to think about in the future. I mean, maybe if we're in a strong position, we can say,
Yeah.
well, maybe we get some of it.
But the problem with that is they could sit there and say, yeah, we don't agree, and let's go to court and fight it, and it could cost us a lot more money
Yeah, that's true.
if it goes to
Understand.
court.
I understand.
So it's good to deal with the lawyers and come to an agreement. We still got what we wanted. Legal language was put it in there. It cost us a little money with attorneys, but we didn't have to go to court and battle it in Massachusetts Superior Court or wherever, which is gonna, at that point, the lawyer fees way up. And the odds of us getting any money back, it's not gonna happen. So, but hopefully, this sets an example in future things like this, kinda see that, and that we've kinda set the bar now. So it avoids future legal problems.
Yeah.
Joe
Mr.
Condit,
Condit?
Board of Health. Maybe the planning board should consider working around what you've already accomplished with this agreement into the town bylaws.
And we have been. That's why we've been submitting a lot of changes to the bylaws.
Zoning bylaws.
Zoning bylaws.
Yeah.
To address a lot of these issues, because sometimes they pop up and it's like, oh. Because back in the day, a lot of these things were grandfathered, and we didn't have these issues in the past. Now we're dealing with a lot of them, and that's why planning board has been doing a lot of work and research to update those bylaws, so it's very clear for people in the future, you know, like solar. The latest one is wind energy, addressing those issues. We don't have a wind facility, but it doesn't mean somebody wouldn't wanna come here, so we have to address it in the future to make sure if somebody does, we already have a bylaw
We're
addressing
way-
that.
Yeah, way ahead of the curve on
Yeah.
wind.
So they know when they come into town, okay, this is what I have to deal with, this is their bylaw on that. Versus, hey, I get free reign and we're gonna battle everything in court with them, anything they try to do. Cause that's what really happened with solar, is we weren't prepared for solar. And we really had to battle a lot of stuff in court, because here we are trying to protect residents, the planning board's trying to protect residents. And, you know, through residents' complaints, you know, we've had the entire gym packed with people to the point where there was nobody able to get into the gym anymore, and we had to shut down meetings because of solar, because it was so contentious. And now with good solid bylaws, when somebody with a potential development that they want to do business like that in our community, they look at that and say, oh, that's what I have to deal with.
Mhm.
So whether it deters them or it puts them in a place where they know exactly where they stand. So we've been trying to do that, and we're always modifying them and trying to make them better. And sometimes that comes with experience, sometimes it comes through legal actions. And we gotta remember, some things that we may have today, the courts might rule on later on and say, towns can't do that. So what we have as a bylaw right now might not withstand litigation. So,
It's one of those things though, knowing the large farms that we do have in town.
it's not a farm.
No, but there are farms in town.
Yes, farms,
And-
yes.
and you
Solar
know-
is not a farm though.
And you know what could happen if one of these firms decides to sell out to an out-of-stater.
And they're all, a lot of them aren't
They've
local
already
people.
done that.
Yeah, there's a lot of,
They're sold immediately.
yeah, and then they resell them as a commodity and resell them, and it's hard to keep track of who actually owns them.
Yeah, basically, the projects where the money is in building them. It doesn't make much sense to have solar at this altitude in our world, because the winter is useless. So when the people invest in solar and they see the return of investment taking so long time, they sell it. And that's why we see this, not farms,
Solar
arrays,
facilities.
arrays of solar go from owner to owner to owner, because, you know, they put money, but they don't get it back quickly enough. Where the money was building it.
Yeah.
And that's because it was so incentivized by the government and everything that was brought forward between programs like the SMART program and things. So, you know, literally it was easy to acquire land in rural towns like Warren because the land was so cheap, and we didn't have strong bylaws saying you couldn't do it. So they basically swarmed you. And they did that to Charlton, they did that to many communities, a lot of communities in this era. Charlton's probably got one of the worst ones. They have what, like 30 or 40 different solar facilities?
Yeah.
We only have 12 or 13.
Yeah.
So, and they scooped up a lot of land in Charlton, and yeah.
And remember, the main role of the planning board is the use of land. So the planning board decides if it's gonna be for A, B, or D. Whatever the business is or the use of the land, is gonna set up conditions to protect the residents, to protect the land, to protect the health. And sometimes those conditions are not well received by the business. But, you know, whatever you're gonna do in Warren, do it the right way.
Mhm.
You know, if you're gonna do something here, you're gonna do it legal and with all the, you know, things, so it becomes an asset for the town and not a detrimental space.
That would be like building a county jail here without all the necessary infrastructure to go with it.
Mhm.
Yeah, even though in a building like that will be really nice for taxes for the town if
Well-
built properly.
Not if it's a state facility.
Anyway, but I think we should move on.
All right, did you have anything else, Mr. Conrad? Anybody else have anything on the settlement with Copart? No? All right,
I'll make a motion to approve the settlement agreement with Copart of Connecticut, Inc.
Second,
all in favor?
Richi Hacker, aye.
Derek Bellis, aye.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion passes unanimously. Very good, sir. Okay, designation of the town's voting delegate for the upcoming Massachusetts Municipal Association annual meeting. Anticipated vote. Well, this one kind of makes it easy because, are you going?
Sure.
Go to the MMA.
The MMA in Boston next
When?
week?
Next week?
2 weeks.
In 2 weeks? I could. When is
You're
it?
staying there, it's the weekend.
I know, I probably will go one day. I know you two guys are going.
You're
Yeah.
going,
Yeah, we'll be there for the full thing. So yeah, if you're going.
Do I have to decide right now?
yes. Well, not whether you're going, but we have to decide on who the delegate's gonna be.
Oh,
So,
I can be the delegate, but
well,
do I need to go if I've been the delegate?
yes.
Yeah,
You have to be there because it's voting. You're voting at the meetings there.
there's only one meeting that
Right,
you
it's
vote at,
it's the luncheon meeting, yeah.
Saturday.
Saturday, the 13th?
Mm-mm,
20? The 20th?
20th.
Yeah,
Saturday,
20.
the 20th.
So I would say Rich should be the delegate.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, because we know he's going. He's already got tickets and he's already paid. We know for a fact he's going.
I will be there.
You don't
He
have
will
to
be
twist
there.
my arm. You can be the
All right.
delegate.
I'm not going, because I have a previous engagement. and I wanna keep my marriage.
Well, that's kind of important.
It is. So I would make a motion to designate, what's your name again?
Rich?
Rick?
Rick, yeah.
Richard Ihawker for the upcoming Massachusetts Municipal Association.
Second,
All in favor?
Derek Bailey's aye.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion passes unanimously. You are a delegate, sir.
Thank you.
And we grace
So
you
you
with all the
sign?
titles
Nope,
concerning
you,
you.
I sign it? Are
right?
you sure?
I'm
Are you
pretty
No,
sure?
no, I'm supposed to come with something signed by the chairman
Oh.
that says I have
That makes sense.
permission. Otherwise, I wouldn't have even asked that, I just would have signed it and did it on my own.
So you write his name in?
Yep.
Okay.
The chair of the board, selectman, another selectman designated in writing, such as chair, managed delegate. So. Voting is required in person. So we have to designate you in writing. But is this the form?
Mhm.
So am I putting my information on there because we're designating him as the delegate?
That's
No,
what I didn't understand.
It would be Rich's information,
Yeah, so it's Rich's information and his signature.
Yeah.
But what do we give to him in writing saying that we designated him?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you could provide a copy of the minutes.
Or I
of the
could do a
meeting.
memo and have you sign it.
Memo.
Yeah. Oh, and so you've got to send this anyway.
Right, and then I'll make a memo and you can sign it.
Okay.
So he signs the memo, I sign this?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Very good.
I'll have it for you tomorrow,
Okay.
the memo.
I'll stop by tomorrow. Just let me know when you're ready. All right. Now moving on. Review draft solicitation for levy safety / compliance committee members. Anticipated vote. All right, Mr. Ferrara, you've
Thank
been
you.
working on this.
Yeah, I met with Mr. McKeon this week, and we had put together just a kind of a very simple paragraph of, what this levy compliance safety committee is primary functions are. The committee is to study ways in which the town's levy remain in compliance with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers regulations, and to ensure that the levy is safe and is not at risk of flooding. The committee will review all compliance requests from the Army Corps of Engineers and will make recommendations to the Board of Selectmen on any improvements that need to be made. The committee would also participate and review the yearly inspection reports issued by the Army Corps, and it is anticipated that the committee will meet on a quarterly basis. And that, if this is soliciting residents, to participate, and they would simply send a letter of interest and email to Karen, and she would present it to the board for the board to review, and we would have a person that may be interested in serving come to a meeting and and indicate why they want to serve. And this would also coincide with the internal staff that would also be a part of this committee. So the highway department people,
Emergency
the
management.
emergency management, the police, fire chiefs, the water, the sewer, myself. We would all interchange and come to these meetings as needed for when there's a significant decision that's going to be made on compliance or a recommendation that they're going to bring in front of the board for consideration.
Yeah, we need to get this going too, because we're probably gonna have to have some articles to help resolve some issues, for the upcoming annual. Because we do have to address some maintenance issues there, which are gonna cost some money,
Mhm.
but they have to be dealt with. And maybe some more money added to
What we already have.
what we
yeah.
have for funds there, so. Mr. McKeon, did you have anything on that?
Basically said everything, what it is. It's basically looking for probably 2 to 3 residents,
Okay.
along with us officials, and to just to pick away at compliance issues.
Well, very good. We definitely have to get this levy back into compliance. We may never have it 100%, but at least we can pick away, and it shows the Corps of Engineers that we're doing something,
Mhm.
and we're working to get better into compliance. You know, fortunately, we have a levy, and we gotta deal with it, you know? So,
Mhm.
all right, do you have any questions about it?
No, looks good.
Do you have any questions, sir?
No, sir?
Right. And nothing else from the public? Do?
Am I doing 2 or 3 members on, when I put it into the website?
I don't think there'd be a harm with 3, right?
Yeah, up to 3, I would say. I
Okay,
wouldn't say like, 10 people, but
Mhm.
I'm thinking 3. 3 at the most.
If you can get
Okay.
3, that would be good.
Yeah.
all right, I'll go
If
ahead
you
and
can
put
get
it
3,
up for
it'd be
3.
nice to get 3.
And until filled.
Until filled.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right, and we have to, there's no motion on that.
Yeah, I don't think we need a motion, right? Just, yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's just levy safety. Yeah.
We can post it on we'll post it on the web, and we'll get it posted on the board out here with the other committees that we're looking for too.
Yeah.
Is there just a certain date you wanna kind of stop or?
Until
for
filled,
interest or?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Until
just
filled.
until filled.
Oh, okay.
yeah. Because you might not get somebody right away.
Yeah.
And of course, I think Mr. Conrad's about to volunteer.
No, actually, I gave you the historical background information on the levy last month.
Yep.
I hope you read it.
There's a lot there. There's a lot of history and significance for the levy and why it was done, and, yeah,
Some potential
Kinda.
problems.
yeah, there's always potential problems. And that's what we're trying to address, is preventing those problems, so. And if they do happen, how we respond to them. So, anything else, Mr. Conrad?
No,
Right. You're not volunteering?
no.
You have a knowledge of the history, sir. When you put your hand up, I thought that was volunteering.
I thought he already did.
Didn't he in a previous meeting, maybe?
Yeah, I think
Be
so.
interested?
And if not, he put his hand up in this meeting, so I would think.
I constitute as volunteer. Would you?
I thought so.
Yeah.
There we go.
We always-
You're on it.
Check the tape. Can we check the tape on that?
The Board of Health does not come with a lot of that.
Imagine everything that could happen if the levy fails. Board of Health will be so
Imagine
busy.
the Board of Health
Oh
issues
my
you
God.
have at that point.
Yeah. All that flooding
Yeah.
and, you know,
You might be a little busy.
All right.
In that case, I'll declare a national emergency.
no, because we have to pay for it.
No, national emergency, the federal government pays for it.
It's not the levy, probably.
Probably not the levy.
They put it in.
All
I
right.
believe there would be a lot more other issues.
Well, that's
upstream.
why we're trying to deal with it now, so they can pay for it, because if we don't deal with it, we're paying for it.
Yeah.
All right. So warrants and bills, payroll and vendor warrants, anticipated vote.
All right, I'll make a motion to pay the following warrants. Number 31 vendor, $725. Number 32 payroll, $48,186.18. Number 33 vendor, $47,759.79. Number 34 payroll, $56,759.79. Those are correct?
Yeah,
Okay. Number 35, vendor, $241,958.37.
Yeah, I triple checked that because
Okay.
they were so close.
Yeah.
Almost the same. Second,
All in favor?
Richi Hacker, aye.
Derek Bellis, aye.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion passes unanimously and the warrants are being paid.
Make-
Bills.
Make a motion to pay the following bills. Turley Publications, $156.50. KP Law, $5,057.22. Fire Equipment Incorporated, $720. Buffon Cleaning Services, $1,005. Verizon, $141.21. National Grid, $37.18. HR Direct, $539.94. WB Mason, $98.03. Merlin Leasing Corp., $1,107.23. American Tower, $2,200. Pine Ridge Technologies, $728.40. Comcast, $20.30. LHS Associates, $9,220.
It's
Ty
from
and-
ARPA.
Yep, okay, yep. Ty and Bond, $1,110.
That's from ARPA as well.
ARPA too? Okay.
Yep.
Tie and bonds, ARPA.
Yep. It's part of the grid screw.
Okay.
That's number B.
And then that one,
Yeah, I need a
we'll make a
second.
motion.
Second,
All in favor?
Richi Hacker, aye.
Derek Bellis, aye.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion passes unanimously. Then I make a motion to reimburse for half of the year Zoom subscription to Rich Ihawker, in the amount of $79.46.
Second,
All in favor?
Derek Bellis, aye.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion passes unanimously with Mr. Ihawker recusing
Recusing.
himself.
Yes.
Just gotta clarify that.
Yep.
All right. All right, minutes, review and possible acceptance of any minutes, anticipated vote.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes from December 14th, 2023 at 6 PM, December 14th, 2023 at 6:45 PM, and December 21st, 2023. So it was the Community Development Advisory Committee meeting and then 2 selectmen meetings.
Correct.
You get a second on
Am I on all those?
that? No, you weren't, were you?
You were on 2021.
That one has to be separate.
Yeah.
Okay, I will amend my motion to exclude the 21st, just the minutes from the 14th, both meetings.
Second,
All in favor?
Richi Hacker, aye.
Derek Bellis, aye.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion is unanimous. Now, the December 21st meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the December 21st, 2023 Select Board meeting minutes.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Richi Hacker, aye.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion passes unanimously. Mr. Belize was absent on that one. And Town Administrator report. You're up, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. It's been I hope everybody had a beautiful holiday and a happy new year. And it's been a busy last couple weeks as we're closing out 2023, starting 2024. We have a pretty jam-packed schedule the next coming up weeks. We have Entree Technologies coming in next week on Wednesday at 10. Myself and Selectman Valise, at 9. Myself and Selectman Valise will be meeting with them. We have on the 11th, as a reminder, our kickoff at 10 a.m. With Weston and Sampson on the town's Economic Development Administration grant. As well as that evening, we have our first public presentation of our public safety feasibility study, financial feasibility study at 6 o'clock. That's a very important meeting where Tecton Architects will be on site making their first appearance in front of the board on giving them an update as to where we are in the study. I am pleased to report that the Capital Planning Committee, myself, the Treasurer, member of the Finance Committee, a member of the Board of Selectmen, have landed on a date of January 16th at 4 p.m. for our first meeting. So that meeting will be happening, and we'll be going over our capital planning plan, a capital improvement plan, as well as our budget. With that, this week we had, this Wednesday, we had our first department head meeting of the new year. We talked about several different topics within that meeting. I was joined by Selectman Ihawker, who attended the meeting in the morning. One of the priorities we were talking about, the first priority was cybersecurity. And later in that day, just so happened to be that we had gotten a spam email and a spoof email. So these things happen, and we have to remain vigilant, and we have to be on our game and working and coordinating with Northeast IT to look into these issues immediately, and to make sure that departments are not clicking on things that may not look appropriate to click on in an email if you don't know where that email is coming from. It's always the best thing to take a look at the email before you click on anything, and that should be going for anybody in their own home as well. If you're not familiar, if you're not sure with an email, it's best you not click on anything in that email and just move along.
If there's a link to something in an email, that's usually a clue that it's a spam, or they're trying to obtain information. Do not click on links embedded within emails, or download, or click on this and go view our site, because they're usually emails that are designed to pull information from you, or put software on your computer.
So I mean, that was a big talking point that we talked with our department heads about on Wednesday. Another thing that was very important was to ensure that everybody has a copy of the personnel bylaw. There's been some updates since I've been here of the bylaw at town meetings, and now everybody, copies were produced for everybody to have it. We've had sign-off signatures, sign-off sheets, acknowledgement sheets for everybody, so that everybody can have a copy. It's posted on the website as well. These are things that come up if there's questions about vacation or sick time. It's pretty explicit of what what employees are entitled to within the bylaw. So I think it's important that everybody gets a copy. I know that all the people that I've onboarded have gotten a copy, but it's important that we make sure that everybody has a copy, with updates and different things. So we took care of that at the meeting. We went over the budget process and what the selectmen have laid out for their budget guidance and guidelines, as well as making sure if there was any questions to clear up on our budget calendar. We went over, accident reports, incident reports, how critical they are to make sure that they get to myself when an incident happens, so we can get that right over to our insured. New equipment as well. As departments get new equipment, it's critically important to let me know that we have new equipment coming in, so that if the equipment has over a $10,000 value, needs to be listed separately on our insurance, that we can make the adjustments. If we're getting rid of old equipment, taking vehicles off the road, not having them registered, those are important things too. So as the year goes on, if vehicles get swapped out or taken off the road, it's important to let us know that we can take those off our policy. Working with the sewer department, I was at the sewer commissioners meeting today. The sewer commissioners meeting on Wednesday. I went to the sewer department today because they finished up the install on the grid screw. So the install has been complete. We can certainly, go over there at some point and Ralph has been learning how to operate it, and so forth. It's a lot louder than the grit screw before, but the company is saying that it needs grit. So as it gets grit in there, it needs to be able to do its job of getting the grit out of the system, and then you don't hear as much grinding noise. There's not enough grit in there right now.
Grit is a nice word for what's going in there.
Yeah. So they are. It's up. It's running. It's connected. Ralph has been, and the staff over there have been learning it and doing some trainings with it. I was there this morning. We are also. I'm working with the sewer commissioners on filling a vacancy over there with Devon leaving. We did the sewer commissioners reviewed all of the applicants. They have brought one forward that they would like to bring to the board. Okay. I'm still in the process of seeing if this person would possibly take it to the next step, come before the Board of Selectmen for appointment. So if I can get this person, this person's gonna let me know tomorrow. If not, then I'm gonna try to work out with the second person that the interview committee had recommended, and then see if we can.
So you had an alternate.
We had an alternate as well. So we're working to get somebody before the personnel board relatively quickly. Working with the sewer department on that. The police department, working with our police chief, Chief Millette, is anticipating a vacancy. So we are already in the process of starting, getting that posted. It's posted on Indeed. It's running in the newspapers at the end of the month. We're anticipating a vacancy in February, possibly. But the chief was really anxious of wanting to get something posted relatively quickly. So he's sending me over an updated job description tomorrow, and it will be posted on the town's website tomorrow as well. So okay. The ad has already gone out for Ware River News to be published. It's currently on Indeed, and we're waiting to see if we get some. We've been getting some candidates back, from Indeed. Unfortunately, nobody certified, from what I can see as of yet, and this has only been a day or so, post-certified. But there may be some people that the chief could work with.
Academy.
Could work with, so we're working on that. The town accountant's position is closing on the 16th of this month. So resumes, cover letters are due back to me by the 16th. We already have about 4 or 5 applicants already for the position. Nothing with any strong municipal experience. Some with accounting experience, but nothing with strong municipal experience. So we're still anticipating some responses from there. On the 16th, that position will close. I also wanted to bring to the board's attention that the lighting project has started around the building. I'm sure, as everybody has seen, the electrician, Warren Electric, hometown Warren Electric, is the contractor for us on this. I spoke to the contractor today, this evening. The flashing on the exterior sign, there needs to be an adjustment, okay? One of the settings is not set correctly, and he just texted me this evening, and I asked him to make the adjustment. He's going to do it tomorrow. So that will be adjusted tomorrow. The flagpole light is up, is running. The message board light is on. The additional lighting in front of the 2 doors is up. The guts to the last lighting that needed to be replaced is on order. We're anticipating getting that within the next few weeks, and that light will be replaced. As you can see from the exterior of the building right outside here, the lighting is improved 100% from what it was. And it takes into consideration that, you know, it's not shining anywhere near bright, you know, onto any neighboring properties. That was always taken into consideration into, you know, when we started this project on the lighting issue of that. So I haven't heard of any complaints or anything, so, you know, the lights are gonna, you know, be able to add some additional security to the building.
The message board is a big one, because having that lit up now, it looks nice. You can see everything and it's clear. You're not trying to squint, get a flashlight or your phone up there to see something. It's lit up very nicely, so. And with days like today and during the winter months, when it starts getting dark at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, it's really important. People want to be able to see it.
So the message board was LED, right? What about the other lights?
They're all LED.
Oh, good, okay,
Yep.
so they're cheap,
Yeah.
essentially, right?
Yeah. Well,
Save money.
you save
Cheap to
money.
run.
Cheap to
Yeah,
run.
yeah.
Economical.
Economical.
Yeah, they're all
Thank you.
LEDs, yeah.
Yeah.
Who
And he did a
tours them
really
on?
good job. Ran everything in conduit. Nice job. Nice work.
Who turns them on?
Well, they're on a timer in a photo cell. So they're adjusted to the timer that's existing right now.
So there's a timer box that's upstairs, which is outside your office, which is probably something we're gonna have to look at upgrading someday, because it's very old. It's,
Still has the squirrels running.
yeah, it's,
Turns on with two tabs.
yeah, you gotta move the tabs over to adjust the times.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's no automatic adjustment for
daylight.
when it becomes
Just
darker
get an
during the
Alexa.
day. Somebody has to literally go up there and play around with it
Somebody.
to get it to work.
Yeah.
Been doing it for about 10 years.
Well, as long as we have Jim, we're all set.
Mr. McKeon does it for
Yeah, but
us.
how many jobs are we gonna have?
Take on more.
Too many.
Young.
I just heard he volunteered for another job today too, and I'm
Yeah.
like, are you kidding me? When's he? Like his girlfriend. I'm like, I feel bad. But he's bringing her along for the ride now too. You're recruiting her into it.
There you go.
All right, anything else, sir?
So also, you know, with our master plan contract now being approved by the board, our kickoff for that is going to be the 25th of January with CMRPC. So that's another exciting project that we have going on. So, you know, again, you know, we're always looking for grants, you know, to go after, but now that we have some grants, we have to administer them. So we, you know, now it's about, you know, making sure that progress reports are getting done, making sure reimbursements are done, making sure that contracts are getting, you know, all processed, making sure that, you know, all of the meeting dates are moving forward. So that's, you know, within itself, that's, you know, that's a big part of us when we get grants. This is our next phase of what we have to do. We have to administer them and move them forward. I do want to also bring to the board's attention, thank you, Karen, I got this in the mail. KP Law has mentioned to us that starting in fiscal year 25, so in July 1 of this year, their legal services fees, their hourly town council legal service fees will increase by $10 to $230 an hour. And they have their specialty services, specialty legal services are also incorporated in here for separate fees. So, you know, for comprehensive special permits, you know, that are not that are for the municipality. If there's an issue with host agreements, special permits, hearings, their hourly rate will go to $3.45 an hour. Comprehensive general zoning bylaw revisions or comprehensive form of government charter or special act amendments, that goes to $330 an hour. Election recounts are going to $330 an hour. Cable television licensing agreements are going to $330 an hour. and bond counsel work fees will be calculated based on the standard factors in the field. So if you have a bond, it's usually a percentage of the bond. And then the paralegal services are billed at a half hour of the quoted attorney rate, at 1/2 of the quoted attorney rate, 1/2 of the quoted attorney rate. So as you can see, legal stuff is not cheap. Okay, it's very expensive, and you know, it's important that, you know, what we do is we monitor and we try to use them, you know,
Sparingly?
yeah, strategically.
Like negotiating the cable agreement before the fee went up.
Right,
Yes.
right. And that's
We're good for 10
important.
years.
This cable contract, and I said this to David, you know, this cable contract is a very technical document.
Yeah.
And it requires special, you know, expertise in the field. I'm certainly not qualified to do it. You have to rely on the legal team from KP Law to do it. And they did, and Jeff really stepped up. You know, from going from, you know, a 2% to a 4%. Well, you may say, well, that's double. Okay, so, you know, Travis's budget, say it's 30,000, now it's going to, you know, 60,000.
Yeah.
So, you know, those are things that, you know, those improvements are going to improve the town, and everybody's going to have a benefit to it. So if you can get better quality programming, if you can get better quality equipment, that's a benefit for everybody in town. And those are things that are important, and they matter. So it's technical assistance like that where I think it's money well spent for the town. Because obviously, I don't know, 10 years ago, if there was town council that was involved in the agreement. I would hope there would be, but I have my doubts. You know, it's a long license, it's 10 years, and it matters. And so...
And it affects a lot of residents, and it also affects what we can do in the future. So it's money that unfortunately we have to pay, but long-term, it saves us because it protects the town. And unfortunately, legal fees are going up. Fortunately is, we're getting a lot of this stuff right out of the way, so we hopefully can use them much more sparingly in the future and not have to deal with this as much. But with the age of lawsuits and everything going on, people want to sue for everything. It potentially could happen more, so we have to keep them.
Yes.
So, all right, so KP Law is going up in their prices.
What percentage are they going up? Do you have any?
Well, I mean, so I would imagine they're increased by $10, so from $2.20 an hour to $2.30 an hour, so...
It's like 4 or 5% increase. About right?
Yeah, 5.
Yeah, it makes sense, the percentage of increase. What doesn't make sense is the amount.
In the first place.
Because
Yeah.
it's a lot of money, and
I mean, literally, you could, if you look at it this way, what we make as a selectman, we make in a month, they make it in an hour.
yeah.
And we go into meetings 1-to-1, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So you asking for a raise, Dirk?
Well, I don't, I'm absolutely,
No,
no.
we are not asking for a raise.
I'm not asking for a raise, but
We do this because we love it. We love the community.
once we get out of here, if there's not enough incentive, nobody's gonna be here.
Yeah. People gotta do it because they love the community, not because they wanna make money. Cause to be honest, $5,000 a year, for the amount of time and everything we put into it, it's a pleasure of the
That's
community.
a symbolic thing.
Yeah.
Because the amount of time that we put in here, you know, meetings that we go, things that we do, you know, we can make more money in McDonald's.
Constantly trying to negotiate deals and do things and.
Honestly, we can make more money in McDonald's.
Well, you would be making a lot more money in McDonald's.
Yeah.
But you would be dealing with the wonderful people of Warren.
No doubt about it. It's about a love and passion about being here. It's just, you know.
All right, we gotta move on, because my shift at McDonald's starts at.
He's gonna go to his paying job.
Yeah.
You got a while.
Are you good? Anything else, sir?
No, that's it, sure.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Ferrara, for that. And moving on, any new business? Do we have any new business?
I don't.
No, sir.
New business? Old business?
I'll just say I'm happy about the grit screw. It's been like 2+ years, maybe 3, I don't know, in the making.
You wanna
so-
go see the grit?
I
screw
do.
now,
I'll
don't you?
give them a couple of weeks to get some grit in there. Yeah, I'm dying to go see it. I'll bring the bottle of champagne to break on it. Get some good grit.
Yeah, you can. Not an expensive bottle.
And then Zoom billing. I know we've been talking about this forever. So this week I signed us up for 1 year. We saved like 16% or 20%,
All right,
and we're done for the year. So
very good.
it's good.
So it's
Does
not,
that-
not a monthly fee now.
Yeah.
Even if it's just a little bit of savings, the time that we spend in the
Yeah.
meeting, voting and everything,
Yeah.
it's priceless.
Yeah. So we're good. Half the select board, half the planning board. 'Cause
The
we use it
paper you
most.
saved from printing out those bills. and
Exactly.
The
Yeah.
time that the town accountant spends processing the
Exactly.
bills.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, very good. Good job.
Yeah.
Anything else, sir?
That's it.
All right. Do you have anything?
Comments and concerns or?
Old business.
No.
Anybody else have any old business? No? Old business as far as with the old town hall building. I was over there, worked on the chimes, got those working, so if everybody hears those are going. Sound awesome, except it gets drowned out by the train, but they do sound awesome. One of the things I noticed when I was in there, in the building, is we gotta check on the fire extinguishers in there.
Okay.
Because I looked at one of the fire extinguishers that was upstairs,
Mhm.
and the last time it was inspected was, I think it was 2002.
Upstairs, they may not do those.
It's part of the building.
Okay, they may just do the floor, because the first floor may be the only ones occupied.
Right.
Yeah, but we do have fire extinguishers up there,
Okay,
and if something happens and somebody grabs that fire extinguisher, it probably isn't gonna work.
okay.
So either get rid of them or bring them up to date. Is that?
We could
Well, you
either
have to
do,
keep so many per the size of building, but at least get it up to date. It's not that expensive to
Yeah,
have a
very
fire
expensive.
extinguisher in there, and if it
Yeah.
can save putting out a fire somewhere, if somebody can grab it and just put it out real quick,
Mhm.
that's good, but I noticed it was like
Okay.
2000.
Because I know the first floor was just done recently.
Okay,
Yeah,
but let's
Okay.
look at the rest of them,
Okay.
because if we have them in the building and they're sitting there, I just don't want somebody thinking that they can grab it and then they go to use it
okay.
and it doesn't work.
When did they expire? After like 10 years or something, or what's?
No, they're supposed to be expired,
Like-
they're supposed to be checked monthly, but
I
they're
think it's
supposed to be
yearly.
inspected yearly.
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 But you're supposed to be able to check them each month and say, yeah.
There's a
good,
gauge
little
on it,
check
yeah.
thing.
Okay.
But you get a label on it that says, last time it's been
Mhm.
inspected, so. but
All
we
the
wanna
ones
make sure
in
that's
here
done.
were just recently done, I know that.
Yeah, all the ones in all the buildings.
All the ones, yeah,
Except apparently not upstairs.
not upstairs, yeah.
All right, and then Veterans Council, where are we standing with that? Because we haven't heard anything from Veterans Council, is there any more people?
I haven't heard of any more people. Alls I know of is
Just the
Betty
two.
Jo, and I don't
We
know.
still just got 2?
Yeah, what's the other person's name?
I
Betty
don't
Jo I
remember
know,
right off
but
my hand, right off
yeah.
the top of my head, I don't remember.
So if anybody is interested in joining the Veterans Council, please let us know. We need members for that. It's a critically important board that we have here in town. They do a lot of good. They do a lot of these events. We need to have people volunteering for that so we can continue with those events. There's a lot of planning, a lot of work that goes into these, say, the parades and things like that we have, the ceremonies that happen with the veterans, the flag retirement ceremonies. All those are very critical for our town to have and continue with, but we need people to man these boards. And we need residents to please step up on that and help out. And maybe we can do something, post on Facebook, on the town website.
Yeah.
Say, hey, we're still looking for
I just need the
residents
text.
council.
I'll make it look pretty and post it.
Okay. I don't know if we have text for that.
I think I think you posted it once already. I think you can just repost it.
I'll look at it.
Okay.
If we can repost it, because it'd be great to get somebody involved, more people involved in that. The lights and everything good. And I think that's it for old business.
I have one.
Okay, yes ma'am.
The veteran agent has purchased a cell phone,
Okay.
and she has given us the cell phone. It's on the website. It's also on her, outside of her door.
Mhm.
She does come every Wednesday from 11 to 3. She stays here. She does everything that she can. The cell phone is for emergency use. She even went to a vet's home that couldn't make it in to turn in his paperwork.
Very good.
So she's an excellent asset to the town.
Yeah, I was speaking to her not too long ago, and she definitely, she cares. She cares about our veteran community, and that's amazing to have.
And she also got into her phone so she can get your messages. If you left her a message, she had 50 when she got into the phone. Some of them are really old, but she can get into her messages now.
Very good. So yes, if you haven't heard from the veterans agent in a while, it's because she got a lot of messages, and talking with her, she's gonna get to people.
Yep.
I know she's really busy. Day one, she was really busy. We had to grab her up to get her sworn in. Like, let's go, because she was just so into it and trying to get things done. And it's great to have. Anything else? Okay. Did you have anything else? All right, so no more old business. Correspondence. We did get a correspondence from Officer Moran, and Officer Moran is requesting that we let everybody know about a scam that is going out, and this was sent to one of our residents, and it's a false bill that is being sent out about property records, and it identifies the person's property address and saying that you could pay a fee and they will basically provide a service to you. This is a scam, so if anybody in the town gets a
It looks like a
letter.
bill.
It looks like a bill, and this doesn't have any personal information on it, but you could see that's the envelope it looks like. And if you get anything like that, that is a scam. Do not respond to it, because they're looking for information from you. And a lot of these things you can get for free if you go on the Mass Land Deeds website. So they're charging you for something that you can get for free on Mass Land Records website.
Registry of Deeds.
Registry of Deeds.
Even in the assessor's office, you might.
Yeah, you can get it off the assessors. You can go on our website and get it right off of there. You don't have to pay $115 for somebody else to pull it off for you. So, if they even do that for you. Okay, so we got that. Any other correspondence? No? Do we have any other correspondence?
No, I did not.
Correspondence?
No, sir?
No? Nothing else? We got
I
one
will-
complaint.
I will say, one correspondent, was, on the 25th also, Superintendent Duff would like to come and give an update, a report as well.
Okay, and I got correspondence from him too, because Mr. Duff actually sent an email to the highway department and Jeremy Olson in particular, and thanking them for cleanup for the storm and thanking them for going around taking care of the schools and the streets so the school buses can get in. Highway Department did an amazing job, and here's his email. He says, "Hi Jeremy, as always, I want to thank you for your efforts to make sure that the roads are treated and ready to go, not just for the school, but for the entire community. It is reassuring to know that even when we get weather that may not be predictable, you are always right there on top of it. Thanks again for all you do. We are fortunate to have you. Thanks, Superintendent Duff." And that's really great to see within our community, seeing people, you know, give kudos where kudos warranted. And I think a lot of people don't really pay attention, but when we get these storms, these guys are out there early in the morning, making sure you all have a safe ride in, safe commute. So when you get up at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, start heading to work, it's safe for you. They're already out there doing their thing, and they've been out there for hours. So good job, and thank you for Highway Department and everything they do. And thank you very much. 'Cause I know you were out there too, so.
It happened this morning, 5:30.
And this weekend, we're supposed to get a little bit of snow.
Yep.
Anywhere from 1 inch to 50 inches,
Yeah.
so.
Zero in on a 5 to 8.
5 to 8?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I've heard rumors, but whatever. From that guy, Rick.
He doesn't know what he's talking about.
But good job, and that's good to see. Then we also got a complaint about the bells. An individual in town don't like the bells. But that's one individual. I did invite him into a meeting, and he declined, so it is what it is. I've been hearing overwhelming support for people wanting to hear the bells and that they like hearing them, and they sound great. It brings back some of our history. So, great job with the bells, and great job with maintaining a clock. I noticed you've been going out there and winding it, so good job with that. We do have one of the clock faces, so if anybody is wondering, one of the clock faces has been disconnected, so it is not telling time, because it was throwing off the timing mechanism for the rest of the clocks. So three faces will tell time, it is correct time. One face will not move because it was throwing off the timing mechanism. So, but again, great job on that. Another one of your jobs.
So I have some help with that one. It's a team effort.
And it is. You got to go up there each week, climb up into that tower and wind it up and take care of it. Oh, I know. I got a whole lesson on the bell, the chime system, and setting that. Anytime you guys want to learn, we can go up there. And
All right.
I'll
All
show
right.
you. We'll show you how to do it, because you're lubing it too, right?
That's Bill,
Skinley.
that's
Show clip.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
gonna do most of that, I believe.
Yeah.
We're just kinda winding it,
Yeah.
keeping it running.
Yeah, because it's been a team effort to try to
Yes.
keep that thing going, so.
So, speaking of that, remember I made a video showing the bells and all this thing?
Mhm.
And the train goes by, and the train is
Completely drowns out the bell.
So I did a little test. A few minutes ago, I put a noise meter here, and our voice levels went up to 75. But a few minutes ago, the train passed by, and it was 58 decibels. So it was very little. What?
Train is very loud within the community.
Just facts.
Right. Right. So yeah, one complaint about it doesn't drown out the fact that
It sounds beautiful.
many other people enjoy it. So. All right. Other correspondence? I don't think I have anything else other than, again, be cautious of emails going out. There was an email coming out from Officer Merkel. It was not Officer Merkel. The account got hacked somehow, and fraudulent emails were being sent out through his account, and that has been corrected. But again, do not click on any links embedded in emails saying to go to here, or, you know, I need you to download this, or click on this so you can see this. Do not do that, because it's a scam, or it's somebody trying to access your computer and attach malware or malicious code to your computer, or ransomware, or whatever else. Whole industry, it's a billion dollar industry now, right? Of just doing that, so. So stay away from that, please. Did you have any? No? No correspondence? No correspondence? Mrs. Dusty, any correspondence? No. Okay. All right, comments and concerns. Anybody have any comments and concerns?
I'll just say, ask people to be patient about the water under the railroad bridge on Maple Street. Saw Jeremy yesterday. They have the camera from the sewer department, and they were running them down the different drains just to see if things were clogged. At least as of yesterday, they really weren't sure what was going on. It's hard for them to cut into the asphalt right now because asphalt's not available, and apparently under the bridge it's about 8 inches thick, so it would be a lot to cut into it to try and see if they could see the problem. So, but they are working on it, and I guess, you know, just patience.
Does that have any connection with the water going down from the overflow? Do you know? Because I know the overflow comes down from Cummins Pond, goes under the tracks,
That's
and pops up. Is that a separate one?
Yeah, it's like
It's a
culvert.
You're talking the trunk line?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's below everything.
Okay.
On the side of it, that's what this all might drain into.
So there's a chance that could be the problem then.
Well, they went into the culvert.
Yeah,
No,
I don't
they
think it
actually
is.
walk-
They've inspected that avenue too.
Yeah.
Right.
They checked that out.
Because I know that was a problem, because it actually goes under the bridge. We have that section, and we, not under the bridge, under the tracks, and we have to get permission from CSX to be able to do anything over there. So,
Yeah, that was all.
and that's very old.
Those
I'm
old
just
things were all
praying that's not the
evaluated.
problem.
Yeah, no, I don't think it is.
No, Jeremy said it's more starting at the bridge going this way because it keeps backing up, and that's why we're getting water underneath there.
Okay. Anything else, sir?
That's it.
Okay. Was your comments and concerns?
Yeah.
Do you have any comments?
Yeah, I have a bunch.
Okay.
Maybe we can look at the office accounts to see if we can save on, like, at least on mine. I don't need the I only need the email, so office we can cut on the office part.
I think you're only signed up for email.
I have office.
Oh, you have Office too?
I have Office also.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
In fact,
just
I noticed it today.
okay.
So again, I don't need it either.
All right.
I mean, it's great if we're getting it for free or
No,
something.
no, no, no.
No,
I don't
no,
think
no,
we-
no,
How
no,
can
no.
you tell if you have the office through email?
There's a bar on the side, you get like the little hamburger menu, and you'll
You
get
click on
Word,
it.
Excel, PowerPoint.
Yeah.
Well, I'm on there right now. Do I have it?
Click on that.
This?
Nope, the one,
Yeah.
this hamburger menu.
Yeah.
Go-
That thing?
Yeah. Click it again. Nope, I don't think you do that.
Okay. So I don't have it? Because I don't need it, because I already have Office on my laptop.
Yeah, all right.
So, that?
I will check into that. So Derek and
You do?
Rich?
No, I do.
He does too.
I don't need it.
Okay.
And David.
You can take it off me and save money too.
All right, let me see if I don't know if we're getting charged for those, but, because I didn't think you guys had it, I just thought it was just email, but I'll look into that.
okay. The next one is
So you know how to tell then? If everybody else has it?
There's a list upstairs, I got it.
Okay, but if they go on their computer, just to tell, it's that box, more
Okay.
apps.
Yeah,
You click it, and all the
pops
office
up.
apps pop up.
Okay, yeah. Some of them are synced, if you sync it to your, if you have a desktop, and you can sync it to your laptop. Some of them are synced, and that's only one license, that's only one, but you guys don't have a desktop, obviously. I wasn't aware that you guys had that, so maybe there's
Savings there.
maybe there's some savings there.
All right, cool.
Second thing is, Jim, I apologize, you asked me to look at a tablet at the highway.
Yeah.
It's still bad? Do I need to go?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
So I'll go
Okay.
this
Thank you.
week, or next week.
In the sewer department, I know you were down there because when I went there today, but what it was happening at the sewer department, and this is from Ralph's thing, he would type in that he was going in, and then it comes up that way.
Send me that, let
Okay.
me see. Okay, so look into his profile.
Okay.
So probably when you add him,
Mm-hmm.
he is already due, like
Expired? or-
expired.
Okay,
So-
I'll check it.
So maybe when you added everybody, you have put them in a year or something.
Okay, all right, I'll
and
check it.
expired, because it could actually pick up
Okay.
people from the system. Yeah,
I'll
that's
check
what it
it.
is. Next thing, yesterday I was at a basketball game at the high school. Let me tell you guys, these guys changed the lights of the gym for LEDs. Wonderful.
Yeah,
Yeah, a lot more saving now.
very good.
Yeah.
A lot brighter too, right?
A lot brighter.
Yeah.
Makes my job as a photographer easier. Then the last thing I wanted to say, if the board allows me, I want to do a little show and tell here. This is one of my expensive toys, so to speak. If I can remember that. Oh, that's my question. Promise we'll be quicker. You can go back to McDonald's. This is really hard. I forgot how to open this box. Not that way. Is it this way? The other way. Well, anyway.
Depends on the day.
I have this here because this is a new drone. It's not the latest model, it's a couple of years old. But what I wanted to, with the approval of the board, is I want to donate it to CERT. And I also want to start a little thing about like teaching them how to fly. I heard fire department, they are also looking into that, trying to get a grant to get a drone for their, rescue and everything. So I'll extend the invitation to fire and police, and maybe we can do something with this, teach you how to fly and everything, get you prepared to the time that when they get a grant and get a, one for the fire and police and CERT team. So I think it's a good thing that you learn, how to use these things, because we may get one for you soon.
Is this something you guys use?
Are you gonna offer the training?
Yeah.
We don't really have, I don't have.
No, I'll do the I'm gonna donate this guy, because most of the time the first one, it dies in training. So,
It's best to learn on this one before you get the really expensive one.
well, yeah, this one wasn't cheap, but I'll call, real drones and toy drones, because there's a big difference.
You know, it is, we're looking into, it is a newer way of evaluating a dangerous, say, after a flood or tornado or a weather event came through, or.
Whatever situation,
Strong enough.
I think our first responders should have something like this, just like West Brookfield has one, and I think it's a good thing that you at least learn how to use it and have one to play with it. So
Drones definitely save a lot of time, especially locating missing people,
yeah,
missing kids and stuff, and
So,
yeah, you can we
throw a
can
drone right up and you can cover miles of area
you can
within
even hook
minutes.
up a thermal camera to it, and just go up and search quickly while the big helicopter comes in. But I think it's a good thing. I just wanna have you guys prepared for when the time comes. Like I said, I extend the training to a police officer and a fire, guy, or as many as they want, We're just gonna
Maybe
go.
this would entice people to join CERT too, to.
There we
learn
go.
how to do,
Yeah.
So I want you to take this with you, look at it, charge it, and then we can get together and, and play a little bit, if you can figure out how to open the box. No, I did open it.
He can operate the thing like a whiz, but he can't get the box open.
I did open it at home.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, you opened it, you didn't even know it.
Very nice.
Yeah, so here's the whole thing.
Camera and everything.
Yeah. So, we'll go through it. The idea is to prepare our first responders whenever we can get a grant or something to get, something that you guys really could make a lot of use of it, we'll have. But you need to learn first. Learning to fly is the first step. We'll get a lot of hard landings.
Or one really hard landing.
Trees are very hungry for drones.
We got a bucket truck, maybe.
So I think it, has a lot of propellers, chargers, battery. It's new. I don't think I ever flown this. It's new. So we'll start from there. At least get you going. So once you if we can get a nice one, you say, oh, I can fly that. So,
Be ahead of the game. Nice.
And like I said, if someone's interested in that too.
Yeah. Somebody might wanna join CERT just to learn about it.
Yeah.
And help out.
push that.
Yeah. Very good.
it's brand new.
Well, thank you very much for doing that.
Thank you.
Cool. Anything else, sir?
That's
You
my
have a
end
list
of
of
it.
That's it?
I made that list, yeah. That's the
Alright.
end of it.
Mr. Ferrari, did you have any comments? Thermostat for upstairs, historical room, did we resolve that? I
We were
looked down
going to go
there and I
look
did
in
not
there.
find one.
Okay, so no, we haven't, because I didn't hear back from you.
Okay,
So
we'll get
according
that.
to Mr. Dusty, he took the one out of historical and put it in the Milo room.
Oh, okay, all right.
Because that's where the computers are.
Yeah.
So he said that he has seen them at Lowe's.
Okay, we'll just grab one, I'll grab one. I wanna know what kind to buy. I can
It's a
just-
Honeywell.
Honeywell, okay,
Yeah, they're standard, just
okay,
snap a photo.
okay.
Um, Okay, so that's it. Anything else? All right, anybody else have any comments or concerns? Mr. Contract, how you doing, sir? I almost didn't see you over there.
Well, I can tell you that I was not the only person on the road at 5 o'clock this morning. Winter is here.
Yep.
If you're driving on snow, slow down.
Yeah.
I don't care if the speed limit is 40, if you're doing over 30 on snow, you're risking an accident. If the road in front of you is black, you might be driving on black ice. Slow down. Take corners slowly. I don't want to hear a Warren police officer stopping people between 5 and 7 in the morning for speeding. There's no excuse for it. That's ignorance. And they can be grateful this evening that I actually got here. You know where the stop sign is at the monument downtown? Somebody did not stop and pulled out right in front of me. There's no excuse for that.
I'm sorry. Didn't see it. Just kidding.
There's no excuse for that. That's ignorant.
Yeah. No, stop for the stop signs, obey the speed limits, and in hazardous road conditions, slow it down a little bit. We're all in a hurry, we all have places to go, but don't put yourself and others in danger trying to do it.
in bad weather, if you have to be someplace, leave 10 or 15 minutes early. Now, the prediction for Saturday night through Sunday evening is 9 to 12 in this area.
Okay.
We're gonna be dealing with a lot of snow. If you do not have to be on the road, don't.
And everybody keep in mind, the parking ban is in effect. And if you are parking and obstructing the plows when they're trying to do their job, you are gonna get ticketed. So put your cars in the driveway. Don't park on sidewalks, because you're not supposed to be parking on the sidewalks because they damage the sidewalks. And it is town's property to repair, not the property owner. So stay off the sidewalks. It also forces people to walk in the roads when you park your car on the sidewalk, and now somebody can't use that sidewalk and they have to walk in the road to go around your car. So put your vehicle someplace proper, in your driveway, or find someplace else to put it, but don't park on the roads and keep it off the sidewalks.
And for information, the Warren Police Department is issuing tickets.
Oh, yes.
Joe, today there was a 18-wheeler full of junkyard cars in the back, like that double deckers. Drove at,
The one that flew down through the center of town?
drove in front of my house at 33 miles per hour, so he was going above the speed limit. And guess what scared me?
Oh, my
I
Lord.
saw him like this on the phone.
Excellent.
Yeah, he flew through the center of town too. I was like, whoa,
Yeah, people do fly.
he was going well above the
So
speed limit.
drive like if you are invisible.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself, because
They
sometimes.
looking out for you.
Yeah. Be very careful.
That's something you don't wanna get hit by. Anything else, Mr. Conrad?
No, that's it.
All right. Anybody else have any comments or concerns? Our massive audience on Zoom?
Yeah, they're all
any-
quiet.
They're all quiet? All right. So no further comments and concerns. The next meeting is January 11th at 10 a.m. And that is the Wrights Mill Master Recovery Plan kickoff. And then at 6 p.m., it's Tecton Architects presentation for the Public Safety Complex study. So those are the two meetings we have next. The actual agenda for the 6 p.m. will be very light for Board of Selectmen information, because of the Tecton Architects is gonna take a lot of time to go over. So we're keeping a very light agenda for that meeting, and only doing absolutely what we need to do. Okay? You guys good with that?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right, so those are our meetings, and then you guys have the conference in Boston on the
18th.
18th,
Through the
the
20th.
19th and 20th. So good luck with that. Learn what you can, and yeah, have fun. And motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second,
All in favor?
Rich Ihacker, aye.
Derek Bellis, aye.
David Dufresne, aye. We are.